capture the essence of tradition like the Golden Dome of Notre Dame. Its glow reflects the immortal Newt Rockne, who has inspired all who followed him to legendary success. Year after year, history seems to be nurtured here, with teams handed down like a family heirloom. The latest to wear the mantle of head coach is Lou Holtz, who today faces the greatest threat to this inherited tradition, USC. USC has never been known to play down its own success story. Their all-time greats, like O.J. Simpson and Anthony Davis, have led the Trojans to more victories over Notre Dame than any other team. Last year's final second victory by the Irish is the latest chapter in this annual grudge match, and the Trojans have been waiting all year to get even. Today, one of the most celebrated rivalries in college football continues when USC plays Notre Dame here on CBS Sports. Against the blue-gray October sky, the Four Horsemen rode again. In dramatic lore, they are known as famine, pestilence, destruction, and death. These are only aliases. Their real names are Stooldryer, Miller, Crowley, and Layton. It's a Grantland Rice kind of October Saturday in South Bend, Indiana. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame come home, and they take on their greatest rival, the University of Southern California. And the oldest band in college football is ready to bring this crowd alive. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I'm Brent Musburger, and perhaps you heard part of the crowd behind me chanting, "Era, era, era." They never forget their legends here in South Bend. And this rivalry, Era, why is USC Notre Dame such a national rivalry?
Well, Brent, I think it's a combination of circumstances. Geography playing a very important part in it. The schools are about 2,000 miles apart, so it's the far west against the Midwest. Additionally, 60 years ago when they started this series, both teams had established programs, winning programs, with big celebrities. Newt Rockne coached here at Notre Dame, Howard Jones, of course, at Southern Cal. And in 11 years that I was here and John McKay was competing, between the two of us, we captured 6 national championships, 3 for each. And the years that we didn't win it, we were knocking one another out of it. So you can see why the intensity has been great in this series.
You know, Aaron, I think everyone who coached it or played in it always has a memory about Notre Dame and USC. And we tracked down some of those folks, and here's what they recall about this great game.
The USC Notre Dame game goes back a long ways, and you know going in that it's a game you're going to remember the rest of your life.
The memories are rather vivid, the disappointment and the frustration of having had such a lead and not won.
And they had slogans outside. They would say, "Please God in heaven, don't let David score 7.
It's a class rivalry. There's when we get done with that game, you know you've been in a good game. Hey, you just wanted to, I don't know, you just wanted to scream, you wanted to cry, you wanted to go run and hide.
So here it'll be Notre Dame and USC, but it's a busy Saturday. Let's check in New York and Jim Nance. Jim?
All right, Brent, there's a story developing down at Auburn where about an hour from now the 6th-ranked Tigers will meet Mississippi State. Controversial Auburn quarterback Jeff Berger and teammate Jim Thompson will sit out today's game as a precautionary measure pending an NCAA ruling about a possible rules violation. Now, according to a report in the Montgomery Advertiser, Berger and Thompson accepted a free flight to go on a hunting trip. The irony is that the trip sponsor is reputed to be a supporter of arch-rival Alabama. Now, quickly checking some scores, some surprises already. North Carolina State scored on its opening possession. Clemson has been held to 11 yards total offense, and the Wolfpack leads second quarter. Look at this one. Kentucky over Georgia in the second quarter. Now, Bulldog coach Vince Dooley is on the sidelines after a hospital visit this week to clear some arteries near his heart. But here it's Kentucky's quarterback Glenn Four going for 6. Watch this catch in the end zone. D. Smith of the Wildcats comes down with it. That was their second touchdown of the game, and it's Kentucky leading midway in the second quarter. Pittsburgh, first game back since beating Notre Dame 2 weeks ago, and the Panthers lead over Navy 10-3 at halftime. Now, coming up at our halftime, we'll take an offbeat look at politics and the Heisman Trophy. And we'll talk live with Florida's freshman sensation, Emmitt Smith. And we'll continue here on CBS Sports in just a moment.
father is the greatest person I know.
If you had a race with my father, he'd always let you win at the end.
I love my pop very much. He still calls me up and says, "How's my boy?"
When I grow up, I want to be like my dad.
When was the last time you took a picture of your dad?
Say goodbye to the dog days of summer. Winter's right around the corner with those biting winter energy costs. So, get a jump on a more energy-efficient home. Hightail it to your CertainTeed dealer and load up with CertainTeed fiberglass insulation. And get $1 back for every bundle you buy, up to $30. Have a comfortable home this winter with CertainTeed. You'll help take the bite out of winter energy costs and get some bucks back in the deal.
Sometimes you got it today. Emerson's got it right. Fine-tune your life. Nobody's gotta tell you. Emerson does it right. Fine-tune your life.
Fine-tune your life with Emerson.
In the 1988 Olympic Games, something special will happen. Every American athlete will bring home the gold. Gold-tipped, long-lasting Kodak batteries. The official batteries of the 1988 Olympic Games.
Before we send you back to South Bend, a note on the luck of the Irish. 5 for 5 this year and winning the coin flip. We'll see if they're 6 for 6 after this word from your local station.
This is CBS. Bill Estes Chevrolet asks the burning question, what will it take? Yes, what exactly will it take to get you into one of these exciting new Chevrolets? Will it take a price the others cannot match? Will it take a trade-in deal that'll keep you from shopping anywhere else? Will it take a service department rated #1 by Chevrolet in Indiana?
Hello, I'm Bill Estes Chevrolet, and we've got what it takes. Please come in and see us.
Bill Estes Chevrolet, just north of the Pyramids.
Stauffer Seeds, America's fastest growing seed company. Pride, the biggest little seed company in the Northern Corn Belt. And Northrop King with over 100 years of experience. Now these 3 companies are working together. Introducing the new Northrop King, the 2nd largest seed company in America, bringing you seeds and service that are second to none. The new Northrop King, the 2nd largest seed company in America.
People's Court, weekdays at 5:30 on Wish TV, Channel 8.
Coming up now, it is Notre Dame and USC. The Trojans stayed about 15 miles from here in Elkhart, but the Fighting Irish, well, it's a tradition that Ara Parsegan started when he was head coach. They were quartered over there in the seminary the night before the game, and then on Saturday morning, they all go to Mass together. Following that, the players move on over to the stadium, get their ankles taped, and then prepare to do battle here. We should not have a defensive struggle, but we've got a lot of offensive stars here. To find out about some of them, let's go to our colleague, Pat Hayden. Pat?
Brent, when Notre Dame comes out of the locker room, they'll be led by college football's most versatile player, All-American Tim Brown. Now, he can beat you in a lot of different ways, certainly catching the ball and running with the football, but this year it's been returning punts. He's returned 3 for touchdowns already. Brent, I think the Heisman Trophy is Tim Brown's to either win or lose, and his performance today on national television against a traditional rival will go a long way in deciding that fact. USC has its own offensive star, and for that story, let's go over to John Dockery.
Pat, the USC quarterback, Rodney Peete, reminds me of you in many ways. He's smart. He'll take control of an offense. He'll do the right thing at the right time. But unlike many quarterbacks, he also can do a variety of things to keep a defense off balance, like run the option. He can drop back. He can scramble. Why, he can even punt if needs be. And, Brett, before this 62% passer is through, he'll probably be the best quarterback in USC history.
Larry Smith's first year, he brings the Trojans out. You know, his goals for this USC USC football program. Be a class team with unity, earn a USC degree, and beat UCLA and Notre Dame. In the tunnel, the Fighting Irish. Their arch rival, USC. We'll get started in just a moment.
CBS Sports presents college football. Live from Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana. It's the USC Trojans versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Today's CFA game is sponsored by the Heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet. Michelob Light. When the sun goes down, light up the night with Michelob Light. And by Cigna, a leader in insurance, healthcare, employee benefits, and financial services.
We're not a company, but we'll give you a chance to work where there's always a challenge. We'll give you opportunities to learn, to develop, to perfect skills that you thought were beyond your reach. We'll help you build a career that can reward you for the rest of your life. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
You've got the whole world in your hand. You've got the whole wide world in your hand. You've got the whole world in your hand. You've got the whole world in your hand.
Put the whole world in your hand with Radio Shack's new portable cellular phone. A price and technology breakthrough.
You've got the whole world in your hand.
Only at Radio Shack, the technology store.
There's an advanced new shape in heavy haulers. The smooth, rounded shape of aerodynamics to cheat the wind and put more power to work. You see it in big rigs and right out front in the advanced new full-size Chevy with standard Vortec V6. Enough standard power to tow over 58 tons of these big rigs and this Ford.
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevy truck.
When the sun goes down, gonna light up the night. Silver label, red ribbon, a taste that's right. Gonna light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Wait for it. Light up the night. Wait for it. Light up the night. Michelob Light.
Part of the country, throw another log on the fire, folks. It's that kind of day in South Bend. Grottle is set to kick it off for the Irish. They won the coin toss for the 6th straight time and deferred. So the Trojans have the ball coming out from the 10. That's Lockwood. Breaks free to the 30-yard line. Take a look at that USC offense. John Dockery told you about their quarterback, and he's a good one. Rodney Peete, number 16. Now behind him, Leroy Holt will block, and Stephen Webster has added some speed to the attack, number 25. This is a great part of the USC attack. Speed, depth there, wide receiver. Rodney Peete brings them up for the first down. They'll throw. Complete. They hit Paul Green, their talented tight end, inside the 45-yard line, a gain of 27 yards, and so Pat Hayden, it did not take Pete long.
One of the things SC wanted to do was come out at the very beginning of the game and throw the football. Good call on first down, first play of the game, the play action fake. The tight end just found a dead spot right there in the middle of the field. Again, when they're concerned about the speed outside and you have a tight end with green, soft hands, you have to go to him.
Again, they'll put it up. Pete under pressure, complete, and he hits Webster. And Webster is inside the 25-yard line.
One of the things that USC feels, too, Brent, is that they can score early. Notre Dame is not a type of team this year that can come from behind.
Harold, what's the problem with the Irish secondary here? Why did USC go at them right away?
Well, of course, Pete has got a hot hand right off the top. I noticed that Pritchard, the number 34, the linebacker on the first pass, was attracted by Webster, and that left Green wide open. That was a good reaction by Rodney Peete that time because he was getting pressure.
2 successful pass plays. Webster off the toss this time, down to the 16-yard line. Now, this is the offensive line that will try to pave the way for Webster. Good center. John Katnick and the guards talented. Perhaps the best offensive lineman is number 66. He's a tackle, Dave Hannigan. And Paul Green has already been prominent in this game with 1 catch. He opened up the attack for them. It is 2nd and short. 2 tight ends. And they'll run Webster, and on the cutback, he pounds inside the 10. Pat Hayden, this is a determined USC team on the attack. They remember a year ago.
They were embarrassed a year ago by the loss to Notre Dame out in their home stadium. And actually, they were embarrassed a couple weeks ago. Larry Smith was very tough on his team after the loss to Oregon. Played a very intense game a week ago against Washington. And this game means a lot, obviously, to these kids.
And to Lou Holtz and the Irish, too. They'll try to dig in inside the 10-yard line with a little goal line defense. There's that toss to Webster. Down at the 10-yard line. And Ned Bolcar, number 47, an inside linebacker out of Phillipsburg, New Jersey, leads the defense.
Excellent job by Bolcar, number 47, the inside linebacker, leading tackler on the football team. Fills in here beautifully. It appears it's going to be blocked well. Stamms, number 30, is being blocked out. Bolcar steps right there. Number 47 puts a good hit on Webster.
Scott Fryer and Paul Green are the 2 tight ends. Off a fake. Pete rolling to the right. Drops it, and it is for Paul Jackson in the end zone. The Trojans take the opening kickoff against Lou Holtz and march for the score.
I think Rodney Peete may have been over the line of scrimmage. And that's what I think Lou Holtz is concerned about.
Jackson is from Diamond Bar, California. Sophomore, wide receiver. Now, from this angle, we will not be able to tell, but let's check the play first.
I think this was really pretty much a designed run for Rodney Peete, but he saw number 1 Jackson, who was the only receiver on that side of the field, come open at the end.
So Rodriguez adds the extra point. When we come back after this timeout, we'll see if it was a legal play. We'll be right back.
There's a tendency in business to focus on the big picture. But at Cigna, we realize the big picture is actually made up of millions of smaller pictures. Which is why our companies provide an array of insurance, healthcare, employee benefits, and financial services to millions of individuals and thousands of businesses. 1 person at a time. Cigna, personalized service to business around the world.
Just scratch and match.
I won! A camera!
You could win one of the tens of thousands of prizes from Mr. Goodwrench. Just stop in for an oil change. Or just stop in. No purchase is necessary to get the game card. And while you're there, enter the Island Paradise Vacation Sweepstakes. You could win a trip to Hawaii, Manhattan, the Bahamas, or the Virgin Islands. So see Mr. Goodwrench.
Stop in for an oil change now. Or just stop in.
Mr. Goodwrench. No one knows your GM car better. No one.
Peyton, Sims, Herschel, and football's Power Elite are retaking the field. The NFL is back in full force tomorrow on CBS Sports.
Pat, this is very close.
Well, the ball is snapped. The ball is on the 9-yard line. The mark is over here. Rodney Peete is going to sprint out to his right.
Now he will leave your frame momentarily, but keep watching over on the right-hand side of your screen.
Now, if he even touches the line with his foot, though, he is over the line, and it should be a penalty. And it looks like to me he's at least on the line.
Is the ball gone right there? That's the key. His right foot was behind the line. Is the ball gone? I think it's very close. It appears that he's standing on the line, and it should have been called back. But it's really a tight call.
But the Trojans get the call, and they lead it 7-0 over Notre Dame. And now the most feared return man in all of football set to haul back this Rodriguez kickoff if it goes that far. Tim Brown. USC has been practicing the short, the squib, the line drive kickoff, and here he comes. Trying to come through the middle. He gets out to the 34-yard line, where it will be first down. Now, the starting offense for the Irish, the young quarterback, Tony Rice. This is his second start. Andrzejczyk out because of the injury. Here are his running backs. Mark Green, a very talented tailback. The wide receivers, and of course, who's the most overlooked wide receiver on all of football, is number 15, Pat Terrell. He plays next to Tim Brown, the Heisman Trophy candidate, according to most, the leader in that chase right now. Rice brings the Irish offense up to the line of scrimmage. Lou Holtz did not want to have to come from behind today, but he is looking up at a 7-point deficit right now. And they run the fullback on first down. And Era, what's Lou Holtz's plan in this game?
Well, he's going to try to establish the running game because he doesn't want to put Tony Rice under too much pressure early. And it was a very impressive drive by Southern Cal, but that's not going to change their game plan. It's only one touchdown, but it's important for the Irish to establish their running game.
Braxton Banks, the fullback today, instead of Anthony Johnson, number 39. He is set right behind Rice. Now they run the tailback, Mark Green. And he is hit by Keith Davis, number 60, an inside linebacker for the Trojans.
Mark Green had a great afternoon a year ago against Southern California, had 119 yards, and he's really come on this year. He's an outstanding receiver as well as a slashing type of runner, and he can go all the way with great speed.
Pat, it's pretty basic so far for the Irish attack.
The strength of the Irish team offensively is their offensive line. You're going to see a lot of tackle-to-tackle runs.
Here's third and short. Rice, a good runner. They will try Green, and he's got the first down, or does he? It's going to be very close. He may have been pushed back. Tim Ryan, number 99, leader of that defensive front, coming in strongly now for Coach Smith. And number 58, Marcus Cotton, was also prominent there.
Looks like he's just short.
Murray Smith has said that his defense and special teams must play better than they played all year long to have a chance of winning today.
Boy, I tell you, Ryan really came in there strongly at the end. He may have held him up in time. It's that tight.
Terrific play by Tim Bryan, number 99. Fights off a blocker, just sheds him, and makes the tackle on Green. He's great strength in his upper body.
Now remember that Tony Rice is a talented runner. So Lou Holtz, with fourth and short, elects to go for it early, Era.
I think it's a good choice. I think they've got to keep the ball away from Rodney Peete and company, and by doing this with possession, will accomplish that. It's a good gamble.
If you make it, it's a good gamble. If you don't, you're going to give it up in real good field position. There's the quarterback for the first down. Good call, just like you said.
I told you they're going to make it. No, I think it is because of the strategy in this game. I don't think that Lou Holtz wants to put Tony Rice under too much pressure early by having to throw the football, and I think it was a good choice.
You know, Pat, his talented center, Chuck Lanza, there are two All-Stars in the middle of that offensive line. Lanza is one of them. He led the way that time. Freeman and Pearson are the guards, and the tackles, and Rader is another one whom the pro scouts have been looking at, Spruell. Ricky Waters, a freshman tailback, comes in and replaces Green. And here is Waters, number 12, and he gets away from Cotton. And to the outside, he breaks the tackle of the All-American linebacker that time, Pat.
Well, Marcus Cotton is their best player with the most speed, and what they try to do is put Marcus Cotton to the wide side of the field because 70% of the plays in college football are on a hash mark. So you put your best player to the field, and that's what Southern Cal does.
Second and 7 at the Notre Dame 28. Era, as as they come to the line of scrimmage, tell me what you think now about the formation and what they might do here.
Well, it's good field position. Lou likes when he gets up midfield to start to put the ball in the air, and we may see the first pass by Rice.
All right, he's got a slot to the right. Yes, indeed. Good call, but he overthrows, and it's intercepted by Chris Hale, number 24.
I think there was some confusion there. 81 is, of course, Tim Brown. He's double covered. That's number 58, Cotton. They're in front of him. The safety's behind him. But the ball is overthrown, clearly, and Hale is there to make the play. I think he was expecting him to go upfield more.
I think this is the thing that Lou Holtz was concerned about, putting Tony Rice under this kind of pressure, having to throw, but he felt that he was in good enough field position, even with the interception, although he doesn't like it. At least Southern Cal has the ball at the 25.
So they're coming out with 1st and 10, and the pressure is going to fall on the Irish defense here. And Pete with plenty of time. Again, incomplete for the tight end, Paul Green. Boy, he is a dangerous tight end coming out fast.
Well, with 230 pounds, he's still got pretty good speed and very soft hands, but a tremendous defensive play there by George Streeter, the strong safety, who really stripped him of the ball.
Streeter is a junior out of Chicago, 6'2", 200. And how about that, folks? One of the unbeatens. Syracuse, who we'll see next week, still unbeaten, however. And Kentucky over Georgia at the head.
I think that Notre Dame is going to have to change up their defense and get into more pressure defenses as well as man coverage underneath, because Pete has really got a hot hand today.
He's 3 of 4, Aaron. He had a lot of time on that incompletion, too. Now, here's the handoff to Webster, who tried to break away and could not. That is Bolkar, number 47, making another strong defensive play. Remember when Bolkar was all everything coming out of high school?
One of the most highly sought-after athletes, and, of course, they're all very happy here that he selected Notre Dame. He's been the leading tackler this year.
And they hide him a lot in there. They cover them with the defensive linemen so he can roam from sideline to sideline. Good player.
See if they can keep that alive here. On the 3rd and 10, Pete on the roll. Incomplete. Out in front of Randy Tanner, the wide receiver. So now Timmy Brown will come in to return a punt, but the question is, will USC punt the ball to him, Pat?
Now, they want to punt the ball out of bounds. You do not let Timmy Brown have his hands on the ball. Last year, Timmy Brown alone in the 4th quarter beat USC on a punt return and a kickoff return.
Now they have Smagala and Eilers back there as upmen on this return. Let's see how the punter handles it. Very high and short. Tim Brown comes up and makes the fair catch there at the 47-yard line. So it's a 27-yarder, and we'll come back to South Bend. USC leading Notre Dame by a touchdown.
Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil. No matter what you drive, or how you drive, or where you drive, or what conditions you drive under. With Mobil synthetic oil technology, there's no finer engine protection anywhere. Mobil 1, on the leading edge of mobile motor oils.
Your face takes enough abuse, so you need the Gillette Good News Plus disposable. Its Lubra-Smooth strip is designed to reduce irritation, so shaving feels so good. Good News Plus.
Dad, is there any way you could send the money today?
To send money fast, come to Western Union. It'll get to any of our 9,000 locations, usually in 15 minutes or less.
Keep in touch.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money.
There's a tendency in business to focus on the big picture. But at Cigna, we realize the big picture is actually made up of millions of smaller pictures, which is why our companies provide an array of insurance, healthcare, employee benefits, and financial services to millions of individuals and thousands of businesses. One person at a time. Cigna, personalized service to business around the world.
Well, Era his presence is felt even when he doesn't return it.
I said it during the course of the week. I said they ought to give that yardage to Timmy Brown on kickoffs and punts because he forces the punter into really difficult chores.
There goes Tim in motion. From the 47, the Irish put it in play. The option, Rice with a good pitch to Green at the end. And Green crashes inside the 45-yard line. Well, we've got an update, so let's send you to New York, and here's Jim Nance. Jim?
Brent, unbeaten Clemson, number 7 ranked in the country, could be seeing its national championship hopes go down the drain. North Carolina State leading 21-0 as Chris Cordes has just scored on a 10-yard run. 4 minutes before the half, the Tigers have 19 yards total offense. Let's go back to Brent.
A shocker in that one. We'll keep an eye on it, Jim. Thank you. Here it is 2nd and 1. Notre Dame with the ball. They trail USC by 7 points. And Rice on the keeper, what he does so very well for the first down to the 36-yard line.
You know, that's another problem that Timmy Brown presents you when you have to double cover them like they did there. 2 defenders. Here is Marcus Cotton and then a safety covering Brown here in the slot. But then they run inside Cotton on the option play, and that is very difficult to defend when you have to spend 2 defenders on 1 receiver.
Additionally, Tony Rice doesn't look like a freshman quarterback running that option either. Looks terrific.
On first down, the cutback by Waters.
It appears that the Irish are commanding that line of scrimmage. It was good blocking up front by Spruell.
Trojan defense. Dan Gibson, he's the nose man. Tim Ryan has already made 1 significant play in the game. The linebackers, they should lead the team in tackling today. Chesley has, and he is backed up by Davis there on the inside. Marcus Cotton and Bill Stokes. 5 yards for the first down, and they bust right up the middle with the fullback, Braxton Banks.
Beautiful blocking at the point of attack by Jeff Pearson. Brian Spruell on the right side of the line. You'll see Braxton Banks just pick right over his right side, right through here. Watch the blocking of Pearson and Spruell. Straight through there. Beautiful job. Lands at number 51, picks off the linebacker. Great blocking by the Irish.
18-yard burst gives the Irish the first down at the 13. Again, hammers his way inside the 10. So, Pat Hayden, Notre Dame using the fullback effectively.
Well, they want to establish the fullback early, and Braxton Banks is a big, strong carry. He's 210 pounds with pretty good speed inside. I think USC is, much like Era said earlier, their defensive front is going to have to put some pressure on Tony Rice, the option man.
Double tight end on the field, as you would expect inside the 20. 4 yards for the first down. They can get that first without scoring. Waters to the 5-yard line. One of the great weapons at Holtz's disposal down here, Coach, would be the option quarterback who can run so well. He can put pressure on a defense inside the 10.
Well, that's why they have a versatile attack. The only thing that they're lacking right now is experience in their passing game. And, of course, we witnessed that as Tony Rice threw the interception. But you can see the offensive line, which is their strength, and they're utilizing it certainly on this drive.
Mark Green returns. He is the tailback. There was movement in the defense, and then the offense got him, but the defensive man might have been back.
Well, Dan Owens moved early, but I think he may have gotten back.
And that may have caused the Irish offensive line to jump across early.
Well, Lippincott.
Ball start, offense.
Right.
Repeat third down.
Lippincott, the left tackle, number 70, shouldn't have been responding to a guy jumping off on the opposite side.
So that is the first penalty of the game, and it puts Notre Dame back at the 10-yard line with a third down. Now, Rice has thrown 1 pass, and it wound up being an interception. This is 3rd and 7 here. Throw again. Way overthrown for Heck, the intended receiver, and that is twice that Rice has appeared jittery as a thrower, so Notre Dame will settle for the field goal.
And you can see how important penalties are. We tried to work and coach against them. That penalty was instrumental in forcing this field goal rather than a touchdown.
Now Ted Grottle out of Sylvania, Ohio, will attempt the field goal of 26 yards. He hammers it right through. Notre Dame is on the scoreboard. It's 7-3 SC, and we'll be right back.
Delta Airlines flight attendant Irene Lockwoody loves to fly.
Are you still here?
My son was supposed to meet me.
Well, I'll wait with you.
That kid is always late.
What she loves most are the people she meets.
He must have got caught in the rain.
He was even born late.
Irene is what Delta's all about.
Irene.
Yes?
Are you married?
Yep. 2 kids.
Late again, Joey.
You love to fly and it shows. Listen to the heartbeat of America. Listen to the heartbeat of America. Oh yeah.
It's the rhythm on the road. It's the pulse on the street. City and town, a magic sound.
Feel the heartbeat of America.
Chevrolet.
Tonight, Rolling Stone at 20, founded by a generation for change.
Rolling Stone broke all the rules.
Now a changed generation. West 57, tonight.
Rodney Peete loosening up on the sideline. His father, an assistant coach with the Green Bay Packers. He was an assistant with Kansas City, and Rodney talked about why he selected SC.
Yeah, I grew up watching the USC Notre Dame game since I was a little kid, and it's funny because I was always rooting for USC, and I think that was one of the reasons why I came to this school, because the tradition and the reason, the fact that we play Notre Dame every year on our schedule.
Very intelligent quarterback. Knows how to run this SC team. You're going to enjoy watching him this afternoon. 7-3. Peete with 1 touchdown pass here in this game. And the kick is to Irvins. Irvins out to the 30. Larry Smith on the sideline comes with an SC team for the first time to South Bend. But remember, he was the head coach at Arizona, and he came in here and he beat Jerry Faust on a last-second field goal a few years ago. He's out of the Midwest, attended school at Bowling Green. He was a West Point plebe and left after 1 year because he said he really wanted to be a football coach. And then he joined up with Bo Schembechler, was on the staff of Bo's down in Miami of Ohio. Here is Webster, his tailback. Webster is out of the same high school as a former basketball great at UCLA, a fellow by the name of Bill Walton. And Smith intends to use him.
You know, being around Larry Smith, you get a lot of feeling of Bo Schembechler. Much runs his team and his practices, much like Bo. He's hard on his kids, tough on them.
He told me yesterday he was worried about getting a kidney stone like Bo. That's how much he was like him.
It's Leroy Holt, the fullback behind Peete. And Webster follows the fullback into the hole and smashed down at the 35 by Streeter, number 27.
You see some of the quickness of Steve Webster. This is what the USC tailback position has lacked over the last few years. And Webster hurt his ankle over the summer, didn't play in the first game, but since then he's added that little extra spark. And a guy with quickness like Webster can make something out of nothing. That's what he has given them this year.
Yards for the first down on this third down. Quick pop to the side for the first down. That was Randy Tanner.
I think USC this year, Brent, has greater depth in the wide receiving position than they've ever had. They've got Tanner and John Jackson, Eric Halfholder, and Ken Henry, who's coming off an injury. But they really do spread it around, and a strong tight end in Green as well. More speed than they've ever had.
They also have Rodney Peete, who can get it there quickly as he did on that quick out.
You have to be impressed watching Peete. He knows how to run a team, doesn't he? This is Webster. And he gets out to the 46-yard line. Webster is 5'10", 180 pounds. He was recruited also by UCLA. His father told me last night that UCLA preferred to use him at wide receiver. And his son wanted to be a running back. And Southern California said, we've got a great tradition, and if you want to try it, come ahead. And that's why he chose the Trojans. To give you an idea of Pete's wide receivers, his 4 completions have gone to different receivers so far in this game. Here's Webster breaking a tackle. He's inside the 45-yard line. You know, if this game becomes a test of wills, right now USC seems a bit more determined. That was a 12-yard run, and the first tackler could not bring him down.
The key here was the fullback block. Leroy Holt, number 39. He's in the front here. That's always going to happen when you have a tailback in the eye. You need to block from the fullback. He blocks the inside linebacker, and Webster breaks the tackle of Gorman and does the rest on his own. But the fullback must be a significant blocker in the I formation.
Gorman had him for negative yardage.
Green Henry in motion. Now they sweep with Webster. There's a penalty marker down on the play as Brandy Wells, number 5, came up to make the stop for Holtz.
Brandy Wells was terrific in his support, number 5, coming from his free safety spot, did an excellent job and made a fine tackle. Watch here, you'll see good pursuit by the entire Notre Dame team. They'll stunt. You see George Streeter gets caught inside, but you'll see Brandy Wells, number 5, come flying in here right there, does a great job and gets Webster down. Nice job.
And the penalty goes against the Trojans. The ball will be marked off back to the 49 with Clemson in serious trouble this afternoon. And that is not an offense that can come from behind very easily.
Look at Donnie McPherson.
This is 2nd and 18 after the penalty is marked off against the Trojans. It is complete, and that is Paul Jackson, the sophomore from Diamond Bar, California. Let me correct the mistake. I think I told you there was 2nd down. They took the penalty, so that was still a 1st down. This is a 2nd down play.
Pat, I've got to tell you, I'm really impressed with Rodney Peete. From a year ago, he had a great game, but he looks to me like a different passer here. His release is good. He's right on target. He's really doing a job.
I think one of the big things about quarterbacks is their quick feet. You have to have quick feet to be able to set up and throw the football, and he is very good on his feet.
They're using 3 wide receivers in this set because the offensive line is giving Peete so much time. Now he's under pressure. It breaks down without the tight end, and it's almost intercepted. Working over there on the far side is Stan Smagala, and he steps up on Holter and knocks it away.
That's what happens when you just disturb the rhythm and the timing of the pattern. Peete was flushed out and kept running. He still had the presence to throw the ball, but it really destroys the pattern.
Now, Lou Holtz told us yesterday, offense is a matter of rhythm and defense is a matter of disrupting rhythm, and that's what happened right there.
All right, this is 3rd and 8, and the Trojans will stick to 3 wide receivers. Good protection. Incomplete, a diving effort by Kenny Henry, whom we expected to see this afternoon, coming off that injured list.
Good effort here by Ken Henry. He's had a separated shoulder, had it operated on. Almost makes a one-handed stab on it. Come down on his shoulder kind of hard. Looks like he was he re-injured it actually to me.
Now it is 4th down, and Tim Brown does not go back. They may be expecting a pooch kick here or something. They set 3 short men. It gets an SC roll, and it'll go out of bounds at the 12-yard line.
I love that little pooch kick.
Let me remind everybody, Pat, that tomorrow the regular NFL players are all back, and we'll have a full lineup for you. We'll start at 12:30 Eastern time with the NFL Today. The NFL returns in full force, and many of you will watch the Chicago Bears and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Tim Brown is on the field as a wide receiver. He goes out to the left. Tony Rice and the Irish do not have good field position. He has not passed the ball well. This may limit what they can do against this defense. He'll hand off on first down, and I'll tell you, that Banks is a load, isn't he? For a first down, he busts out for 12 more yards.
Important drive, defensive drive situation here for USC. They have not stopped the run all day. They're going to have to start slanting a little bit more to stop the fullback.
Lands at number 51, and Tom Freeman, 65, blocking right there. Good hole right there, and you see Braxton Banks pop right through there, and he's finally brought down there by Mark Carrier.
Ricky Waters, the freshman, checks in at tailback again.
Audible.
This is Waters. Turned upfield and busts his way to the 32-yard line before Marcus Putney can bring him down.
And a nice little audible there by Tony Rice. Again, he looks out to Timmy Brown. He sees that there are 2 or 3 defenders over there. Then he audibles to the other side of the field.
All right, Pat, he's struggling with his passing game. What can you do to help a young quarterback get over that?
Yeah, I think you have him throw a screen pass, a short little pass that'll get his confidence back.
Second and short, and the Irish can pound ahead and make this a 10-yard game if they want to. Waters, and he gets the job done. First down on a slick run.
That was a great run because that was designed to go over the left guard. Ricky Waters kept moving it to the outside. He was going to be stopped for no gain. Watch here. If you were the runner, watch Waters come on the inside. He's going right over the left guard. Makes 1 miss, makes 2 miss, make 3, and winds up with a first down on nothing but sheer ability.
And a terrific block by Braxton Banks. The fullback really started it off.
Out at the 37. It's a 7-3 game. USC leading Notre Dame. Here's Rice on the roll, and he'll keep it. And he's pounded out of bounds. You know, John Dockery has found someone who knows a little about quarterbacks. Let's go to Doc.
Brent, he certainly does. He was probably the best of our Parsegian's quarterbacks. Terry Hanratty, you can empathize with Tony Rice. Of course, you were an 18-year-old quarterback, started here at South Bend. What's he feeling? What's he going through?
Well, John, it's a lot of pressure here at South Bend. Everybody knows that at Notre Dame starting your first ball game. But I think what he's got to do is he's got Timmy Brown out there, and the defensive backs are playing way off him. It's an easy pass for a young quarterback complete. Just let him pick up the ball and throw it at him. Get both guys in the ball game. It's going to take a lot of pressure off him.
Thank you, Terry. Okay, Brent.
All right, so Pat, Terry agrees with you. There's the swing pass out to Waters. You know, I've got to say one thing. You had a lot of good quarterbacks here, starting with John Huard. And then, of course, it was Terry Enright. We don't want to overlook a couple folks by the name of Joe Theismann and Joe Montana, whom you recruited. I know Dockery and Hanratty are good friends, but don't throw that best around too loosely down there.
You got to throw in Tommy Clemens, too.
Yes, Tommy Clemens, who went on to start him up in Canada. And Mark Green returns.
Oh, no. Terry Hanratty was a good one.
Third down and 9. That's complete to Brown. What a slick grab that was, coming over the middle that time of 13 yards.
Great catch by Timmy Brown. Not only can he run with it, but he's got great hands. He went right over the middle and turned back. You'll see in the inside receiver, Timmy Brown will come right on down to the inside. Watch him turn back, concentrate, and get this ball that is thrown behind him. This is a great reception here. Not many guys can do that. Nice job.
And you can't play man-for-man defense on him like USC tried there.
7-3. We'll take a break and come right back.
When the sun goes down, I'm gonna light up the night. Silver label, red ribbon, a taste that's right. Gonna light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Light up the night.
Listen to the sound of
of a closer, smoother shave. Williams Electric Shave sets up my beard, so my shaver shaves closer, and I get a smoother shave. Listen to Williams Electric Shave. The sound of a closer, smoother shave.
Fancy perfumey aftershave. It's got to be a quarterback's locker. Real guys who get mud on their uniforms use rugged, honest stuff. Ice Blue Aqua Velva.
There's something about today's Aqua Velva, man.
So you still think linemen are dumb?
There's a new stone-washed jean made for a man after his work is done. American Hero Jeans from Wrangler.
This is CBS.
These tools of the trade in the hands of Indiana Heart Institute physicians at St. Vincent Hospital have helped the lives of thousands. Our cardiologists are among world leaders in successful alternatives to open heart surgery. But if it's needed, you'll have the reassurance of being treated by Indiana's leading cardiac surgeons. Choose the physicians who are the masters of the tools of the trade. The Indiana Heart Institute at St. Vincent Hospital.
We're in Lafayette, Indiana, the heartland of America. This state-of-the-art automobile plant being built is a Subaru plant. Here in the belly of America where automobiles began, Subaru is making a commitment to the USA. In honor of that commitment, Subaru is offering free four-wheel drive on top of its other incentives through November 3rd. At Subaru, we're not just building a better car. We're building an American car.
Free four-wheel drive at these dealers, but hurry, offer ends November 3rd.
Hollywood Squares, weeknights at 7:30 on Wish TV.
12 national titles these two schools have produced, a couple by Ara Parsegan. 10 Heisman Trophy winners, and one of those academic All-Americans, Pat Hayden.
That's right. Ara was offended. He won 3 national titles. He was offended. He only gave 2.
I don't recognize the third one. We start the second quarter, 7-3, SC over Notre Dame. He's across the 45, so 2 good tailbacks here the Irish are showing us, Ricky Waters and Mark Green. Pat, I want to ask you about the way Notre Dame is moving the ball on the ground. In that first quarter, they rushed for 90 yards against this SC defense.
You know, and on first down, I think that's been significant. They've averaged over 6 yards on first down, and that's exactly their game plan with that offensive line. 2nd and 4 is Notre Dame's kind of game.
Well, we've got a third tailback in there now. Tony Brooks, the freshman from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Here he is. He busted right straight ahead. Ara, tell me about these 2 freshmen, Ricky Waters and Tony Brooks. How good are they, and how do they compare?
I think they're both outstanding football players. Of course, Waters is more of the 6'3", 180 variety, and Brooks is 6'2", 215. He's more of a fullback type, but he's got tremendous speed, great hands. Got light hands, he can catch the football. They're both going to distinguish themselves here in Notre Dame land.
Now, Brooks is number 20. He's in the lineup for Holtz. Holtz has sent in his 3rd and 2 play. Banks. Boy, the major surprise in college football this afternoon involves Clemson.
I never thought I'd see 30 points scored on that defense in a half.
At home.
Don McPherson, though. Boy, he played well last week as well.
We'll see McPherson next week when Syracuse tangles Pittsburgh. And let me tell you something. Pittsburgh is ready for that one. That'll be an emotional performance by the Panthers, with Syracuse rolling in unbeaten.
You know, Brent, Chuck Lanza, the center for the Fighting Irish, is just doing a sensational job of controlling the nose tackle of USC, and that's why they've been so successful inside.
Well, they have switched nose tackles, as you say that. Gibson out and Frug in. So Coach Smith will try a new nose man against Lanza. And remember, there are several pro scouts here who are looking at number 51. He's out of Germantown, Tennessee. He's 6'2", 270. Has a chance to go very high in the draft. He works over this nose man, too, and they run Tim Brown this time. Down to the 30-yard line where Tracy Butts, one of the safety men, number 30, brings him down. Well, let's take a look at that center, Lanza.
Lanza's an outstanding football player. He's right there. Watch him do the job. Walls off, but unfortunately on that snap, Rice didn't get it cleanly, and it could have been a fumble. But it worked out all right for the Irish.
Still using the wishbone. And they pound right straight ahead with it. Mark Terrier making the stop that time, down by the 25-yard line. Again, close to a first down. Pete has had the hot hand. They'll come in for the measurement, and it's good. It's a first down. So they move the chains to the 26-yard line.
Very important here for the USC defense to stop them on first down. They have not done that yet.
But if they crawl up too tight, then that'll set up a run action pass for Rice.
Notre Dame averaging better than 5 yards a rush here so far this afternoon. He keeps it, and Rice breaks free. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
To Braxton Banks. All of the Southern Cal defenders thought he had the ball. He came out clean, and he can run. Look at him getting to the end zone for the touchdown. Great play.
Rotto hammers in the extra point. Notre Dame leads SC for the first time this afternoon.
Listen to the heartbeat of America.
It's the rhythm of the road. It's pulse on the street. Pulse on the street. City and town, magic sound.
If you want the adventure of it all, put yourself in today's Chevy S10 Blazer and listen to your heartbeat.
Ooh, the heartbeat of America. Chevrolet.
That's today's Chevy truck.
Ponchatoula, Louisiana. Bayou country. Places like this make you glad you take your car to Mr. Goodwrench, the GM service specialist. Mr. Goodwrench uses genuine General Motors parts, the kind your car was designed to use. Because Mr. Goodwrench knows in places like this, the last thing you need to worry about is your car. Mr. Goodwrench. No one knows your GM car better. No one.
On the NFL today, some players crossed the picket line. Many others did not. Now that they're all back on the field, how solid is team unity? Tomorrow on CBS Sports.
There they went 88 yards in 12 plays.
And also a great block right here by Andy Heck, as well as the left tackle. Watch them sustain their blocks. But watch the fake that is so good here by Rice. It attracts all the defenders. Look at them all go in there to stop him. Rice comes clean, and he's got great speed, and into the end zone he goes. Cotton is chasing him.
And on the other side of the formation, Timmy Brown had attracted 3 defenders.
17. And Rodney Peete will put it in play after that return by Butts. Let's check in with John Dockery. Doc?
Brent, I was doing a little eavesdropping during that last series of plays, and Foge Fazio, the defensive coordinator from Notre Dame, got his troops together and said, we have to do 2 things. A, we have to communicate more on defense, and B, we must contain Rodney Peete if we're going to win this game. Let's see if they can do it right now.
All right, Doc, and Pat, the big problem for the Irish defense against Peete is getting pressure on him when he passes.
Very good pass protection all afternoon. They have to blitz.
Well, since that first drive, he's been doing a pretty good job on it.
This is Webster. Mike Griffin, the nose man, leading the way. Good pursuit that time.
Excellent defense by the entire Notre Dame line. They neutralized their blocks, slid right with it, and when you can only give them a yard or two, you're doing a good job.
Era, how about the wide receivers coming out? Has there been better coverage since that first drive?
I think the coverage and the pressure has been better, although Pete is going to be dangerous all afternoon.
Offholter is out to Pete's left. They run that tailback draw, and Webster coming close to the 40-yard line. Volcar tripped him up, number 47.
Important third down here for Southern California, because the way Notre Dame is running the ball on offense, you don't want to punt the ball to them right now.
What would you call on this third down?
This looks like an option type of situation. This is 3rd and about 2. I think it's a good option down.
Scott Lockwood.
Passing formation.
The 41 checks into the backfield. Come with Holt.
Good audible there by Rodney Peete. It was a passing formation. Spread the defense out. Peete called the audible because he saw a soft spot inside.
Good call. And you're right, it was a very important first down. It's interesting that Larry Smith has elected not to put the ball up in the air so far on this drive. To get down in better field position, he may do so.
10.5 minutes left in the first half. 10-7, Notre Dame leading SC. Webster returns. And he's the carrier. He gets out to the 49. Hard to knock him down with that initial tackle.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, as we said, he's not a terribly big guy, but he is tough. He's a good inside runner for only weighing 185 pounds. Wears kind of an ankle brace, which is kind of a new thing in protective devices. Lots of guys wear knee braces, but he's wearing an ankle brace because of a very tender ankle he's had all year long. See, he covers it there with a sock.
Here he comes. Irish defense ready for him there at midfield. Figaro, the first one in on the stop. Along with this, one of their biggest games of the year, USC still in the running for the Rose Bowl. At 3-1, and of course they will close out against their crosstown rival UCLA, and that could be for everything. But Coach Smith still in position to go out after a Rose Bowl, and one of his goals, beat Notre Dame, something Ted Toner could not do. Pete complete to Henry at the 40-yard line, and a first down. A 12-yard gain.
The key here, great pass protection for Rodney Peete. You're going to notice there's nobody in his face. He looks left first. He wants to go left, then he comes back to the other side of the field and delivers the ball right on time. And there's Henry at the bottom of the screen here, Era. Sees the yardage that he needs, a little turn, and watch how quickly the ball gets there.
And the thing that Lou Holtz was concerned about is that he didn't think that they could get to Pete often enough, and that was an example of it.
He's 6 of 10 for 82 yards and the Trojan touchdown.
There's a blitz.
He's under pressure from the outside linebackers this time. Gets a great comeback block. And he'll throw the ball for Jackson. Incomplete. Jackson complaining that he was interfered with. And there is a penalty marker down.
No, it's Rodney Peete who was down.
Oh, it was Rodney Peete who was down.
Yeah. They didn't call the penalty, but he was hit. Good coverage there by Marv Spence. So often, Brent, you see a wide receiver come open when a quarterback is scrambling around, but Spence stayed with John Jackson the whole way.
Jackson thought maybe too close.
Now the 2nd and 10. Tripped up. It's only the 39-yard line, and again, Volcar, number 47, turning in a big game. Let's watch Pete on the move here, Pat.
Again, we talked about his foot speed. Now, what he does here is as he comes back, he picks up a pretty good block, as you're going to see here in just a moment on Figaro there. Then he pulls up. He does take a big shot, but he kept the ball away from the defender, gave his receiver a chance, but it wasn't going to get picked off.
And that was also an excellent block on Flash Gordon, number 38. He was coming along with Figaro, and they really picked him off. Lockwood checks in the game, goes out as a receiver. Down the middle, incomplete. Jackson dropped that one, and I'll tell you, he turned his head that time before he had possession of it.
Pritchett, number 34, might have distracted him because he got back far enough, got his arm up. Let's see whether Pritchett really... Let's see where we can see it right here. There you see Jackson. You see Pritchett put his arm up right there, and it might have distracted Jackson.
Now Tim Brown is deep on this punt. Chris Spurl standing at the 46. Booms it high. Brown signals for the fair catch, and he makes the catch there at the 10-yard line. 29-yard punt. It is not favorable field position, and we'll be right back.
When you want to go from freewheeling to 4x4 fun, Chevy S10 lets you do what Ford and Toyota can't. Shift and keep right on going with standard Instatrack.
The heartbeat of America. Chevy truck.
You are about to witness an incredibly effective fitness machine. Airdyne from Schwinn, the only machine of its kind that lets you exercise your lower body and upper body together for maximum cardiovascular benefits and healthy muscle tone. Use the Airdyne for as little as 20 minutes every other day to help achieve and maintain total fitness. Schwinn Airdyne, the ultimate fitness machine. See your Schwinn dealer or call 1-800-AIRDYNE for a free brochure.
There's a tendency in business to focus on the big picture. But at Cigna, we realize the big picture is actually made up of millions of smaller pictures, which is why our companies provide an array of insurance, healthcare, employee benefits, and financial services to millions of individuals and thousands of businesses. One person at a time. Cigna, personalized service to business around the world.
One of the classic settings in college football. South Bend. Here at Notre Dame, along with John Dockery, Ara Parsegan, and Pat Hayden, I'm Brent Musburger. Glad to have you with us today. The Irish have possession and 90 yards to move here for a touchdown. They lead Southern Cal 10-7. And they will run Green on first down, and he bolts out close to the 20-yard line before Carrier brings him down. Number 7, the safety, Mark Carrier.
The Irish are averaging 6.3 on every first down. You'll watch here as a double team occurs on the right tackle, and you'll watch right in here, right here, and watch the opening occur. You'll see this, the left guard in there, here, Freeman. And Mark Green does an excellent job of not wasting himself and picking the daylight.
And they run that fullback, Braxton Banks. Now he's 6'2", 207 pounds, and he's a Californian who got away out of Hayward, California.
And Brent, in order to stop those big plays on first down, Southern Cal's defensive front is going to have to play into the gaps better. They're going to have to stunt to stop the fullback.
So they've got 10 of the 90 yards already. With a young quarterback, you can reduce and shrink the size of the field. Explain to him it's only a 10-yard game. That's what's important, to keep possession. And Waters, the freshman tailback. There are some of the other things that a coach would do with a young, inexperienced quarterback like Tony Rice, who's thrust into this situation. How would you handle it as a coach?
Well, I think you've got to keep building his confidence and not put him in circumstances that he can't handle at this stage without the experience. You got to remember, he's had one start. This is his second start, and he really is inexperienced, but he's got a lot of talent, and his confidence is building because they've been able to run that football.
He could not even practice a year ago because he had to get his grades up. with the swing pass to Waters. And Waters bolts out. Gets past midfield, steps out at the 48, and finally Cleveland Coulter was able to get him out of bounds. That's a 28-yard run.
And that's the type of thing we're just talking about. This is not a long pass, a little flat pass for Tony Rice. He looks it off, throws it over, gets a completion. Watch Ricky Waters put some moves on. That's Colette 46 being blocked. And this is a great move here by Ricky Waters, a freshman, outstanding runner.
On the other side, you can watch Timmy Brown. They want him under, and they want him over. Never let him go without double coverage. That's what the defensive assistants preached all week as they set the defense. Here comes Waters on the cutback. He gets near the 45-yard line before Marcus Cotton, number 58, the All-American linebacker. Pat, how good is Cotton? Will he be a star in the NFL?
Well, I think he's a very strong pass rusher. That is his forte. At the point of attack, people like to run at him because they don't think he is a good stopping the run when you come right at him.
He did not have a good game against Lorenzo White of Michigan State on television earlier this year.
Well, Cotton does a lot of his tip passes, deflects a lot of balls.
But he is capable of making a big play also. Now here comes the end around. Timmy Brown. They're going to swing him, and Brown gets the corner. Out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. Coulter finally got him a 17-yard run by Brown. Well defended. He simply beat the defensive player.
Well, I'll tell you what, once you get squared up on Timmy Brown, look out. He's at the top of the screen there, number 81. This was set up beautifully because Notre Dame's been running the off-tackle pitch all day long. Then they fake the pitch. Waters gives it to Brown. Now watch him fake out 31 Stokes.
And
Stokes
Rice
has
comes
him.
back with the block.
Right there, you're right. And Freeman, number 65, the left guard makes a block right there. But he put a real nice move on Stokes.
Now the ball is inside the 30. Rice is driving the Irish. Remember, they took over back on their own 10-yard line. Tony keeps it, getting to the outside, and he is brought down by Carrier. Boy, Mark Carrier is an impressive safety, isn't he? 6'2", 175, out of Signal Hill, California.
But Rice is a strong runner here, too. We see him breaking tackles here effortlessly. Right there, he broke a tackle.
Well, you were talking about that 90-yard drive, and they've accomplished almost 70 of it. I mean, the Irish are looking good moving the football.
They've got a new fullback in there, Anthony Johnson, number 22. You bet they are. Remember that last drive was 88 yards. This is Johnson. Johnson down to the 10-yard line, and again it's Mark Carrier, number 7, being forced to make a stop after a 12-yard gain.
Era USC is only committing 7 men to the line of scrimmage. I believe they're going to have to commit that 8th man to the line of scrimmage to be able to stop the inside game.
I agree with you because they can't stop them with... Look at this beautiful block. I think it was the left tackle coming down, Tom Freeman, or was it Tom Rader? But it was a great block from the left side.
Johnson again to the 12-yard line. Era that offensive line. We want to give them some credit. Rader, you mentioned, he's over there at tackle at 263. Now Tom Freeman is the left guard. Lanza is the center who hiked the ball to Rice. Over on the right side, Jeff Pearson and Byron Spurrell.
Boy, Frank Jacobs, the second-team tight end, number 85, had a big block on that play.
Jacobs is in there, Pat, along with Andy Heck, number 88. Two good blocking tight ends. Mark Green returns at tailback. Rice down at the 6-yard line that time on the option play. Hartsiker made the stop, and Davis, the linebacker, watch the move he puts on here defensively.
And he's going to skate down the line of scrimmage. He gets some protection from the guys up front, and then he fights off one block and is there to fill the hole. He's done that a nice job of that all year long, being able to skate down the line of scrimmage and plug the hole when needed.
And 40, Craig Hartsiker, you can see him on the inside on that play, so the two of them get it done. Now they go to the wishbone on this 3rd down. Puts Timmy Brown in the backfield, and here he comes. Touchdown, Notre Dame!
and number 22 and Mark Green, 24. Look at the hole inside. Beautiful board. Timmy Brown. What a drive that was. 90 yards.
He's out of Dallas, Texas, and he can do it all, can't he? We'll be right back.
Dreaming the dreams of America.
GMAC makes financing or leasing the new GM car or truck of your dreams easy. Just see your General Motors dealer. We'll help your dreams come true.
The dreams of America. GMAC. We're making your dreams come true. The dreams of America. GMAC.
Official sponsor of America's Dreams.
When the sun goes down, gonna light up the night. Silver label, red ribbon, a taste that's right. Gonna light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Wait for it. Light up the night. Wait for it. Light up the night.
If you don't know what cola payola means, ask the manager of your supermarket. If he won't tell you, 60 Minutes will, Sunday on CBS.
He is the leading candidate to win this year's Heisman Trophy. I had the opportunity to ask Tim Brown his thoughts about that.
Well, I think it's really an honor to be even mentioned for the Heisman Trophy. You know, it's such a prestigious award, and my feelings on it, if I win it, I win it, you know, but I'm not going to make Coach Choate change his game plan or anything like that for me to win the Heisman Trophy. The important thing for me is just to help Notre Dame win. I think, you know, if we can do that, the Heisman Trophy will come.
Help them win indeed. For Tim Brown, his 6th touchdown and his first rushing touchdown of the season. After trailing by 7 points here in South Bend, Notre Dame has responded with 17. Tony Rice leads them on 2 long touchdowns. Now the squib kickoff fumbled out of bounds, and the Trojans will put it in play. I want to remind everybody, next Saturday, Clemson is about to topple from the ranks of the unbeaten and untied unless they stage a great second-half comeback. Syracuse winning, and so they should move up. They should be in the top 7 next week. Don't you figure in the rankings? We'll see. They lead by 42 at the half. Pittsburgh will be taking them on next week. Navy giving Pitt a good battle today. Look for Pitt to be very emotional next Saturday on CBS. And here is Stephen Webster, the junior from San Diego, California.
Very important drive here. You see, after the opening drive by USC, the Irish has shut them down. But, Brent, this is a very important drive for the offense. There's 3 minutes left in the ball game. They have, in the first half, 3 timeouts. They need to take some of the momentum away.
They run Holt, the fullback. He's out to the 36. We want to get an update on what's going on. Let's send you to New York and Jim Nance. Jimmy?
Well, Brent, Vince Dooley trying to get an extra spark from his offense, so he brings up backup quarterback Wayne Johnson, who keeps it for the score here to cut the deficit to 14-10, but Kentucky is right back driving again. 1 minute to go, 3rd quarter. Let's go back to Brent.
Good game, Jim, but the story there is that the coach is working the sidelines at all. Wasn't that something? He had a blocked artery, went in, got medical treatment, and he's back coaching today. Here is Holt coming out to the 45-yard line on this run. That's a 10-yard bolt with the clock showing 2:20 left here in the first half.
Other than the first play, we really have not seen USC go back to Paul Green, the tight end, much. They wanted to feature him some today.
We have a Notre Dame player shaken up right now, being tended to there. So while he's receiving treatment, let's take a break, and we'll come right back to South Bend.
We're not a company, but we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it. We'll make sure that as your responsibility grows, so will you. As your ability for leadership grows, so will you. Working with us, you'll gain self-confidence, become a person with a future. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Marines, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
There's a tendency in business to focus on the big picture. But at Cigna, we realize the big picture is actually made up of millions of smaller pictures, which is why our companies provide an array of insurance, healthcare, employee benefits, and financial services to millions of individuals and thousands of businesses, one person at a time. Cigna, personalized service to business around the world.
They crushed Penn State and charged into the top 10. They are the season's dream team, Syracuse. But can they topple Pittsburgh? Next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Great rivalry. Do you know that Coach John McKay would never speak to the Irish Leprechaun? That's right. And would you believe this, Pat Hayden? Look who's petting that horse there. Is that Coach Parsegan there with his favorite?
I brought that. I told my team I went out there. I got tired of looking at that horse, and we told him we went out and stole him and brought him in. Actually,
it's tough running behind that horse all those years. I guarantee you. You got to be careful with the feet.
Scott Lockwood checks in. Here's Rodney Peete now under pressure and cannot get the pass off. Great defense. That was Brian Flannery, number 92, out of Lakewood, Ohio, the sophomore rushman.
That is a big sack for Notre Dame because we just mentioned this is such an important drive for USC. Need to get something on the board before halftime.
Brian Flannery stepped in for Coons, who has been injured. And watch him come through. He's number 92. It goes right on through number 55 in there. Oh, that's Katnick, the center. He beats the center.
Peete back wants his tight end, incomplete. Ball at green. Ball was thrown a little bit low. You know, at the conclusion of this game, we're going to select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from both Notre Dame and USC, and Chevrolet will donate a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. An impressive first half by young Tony Rice. Remember, his first pass was intercepted by the Trojans, who were up by 7 at the time. So the Irish have scored 17 unanswered points. The defense has tightened up considerably on Rodney Peete after giving up that opening touchdown. 1:39 to go in the half. Peete is back. Down the middle, overthrown, incomplete. It should have been intercepted. And that was Wells, number 5, who had a hand on it. He knows it better than anyone that he should have caught it.
That's what happens when it's 3rd and forever. It was about 3rd and 18. Rodney Peete was trying to get enough yardage to pick up the first down, so forced the ball downfield a little bit high, and Wells really should have made the play.
Larry Smith has been using, as he told us yesterday, he's going to try to kick the ball out of bounds and also to kick it up in the air. He's been using the ball up in the air, but this should give the Irish good field position.
Tim Brown wants a timeout. Now, he must have counted the number of players on the field, and he saw 12, and he is sending number 7 off to the sideline. So with that timeout, we'll take a break. Well, I'll tell you, Brown knows his math.
When the sun goes down, gonna light up the night. Silver label, red ribbon, a taste that's right. Gonna light up the night. Gonna light up the night. Light up the night. Michelob lights. Gonna light up the night. Light up the night.
There's an advanced new shape in heavy haulers. The smooth, rounded shape of aerodynamics to cheat the wind and put more power to work. You see it in big rigs and right out front in the advanced new full-size Chevy with standard Vortec V6. Enough standard power to tow over 58 tons of these big rigs and this Ford.
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevy truck.
Well, Coach, how would the Irish like to use Tim Brown as a return man in these situations, and what will USC try to do against him?
Well, they have 3 returns, and 1 to the right, 1 to the left, and 1 in the middle. And here they want to make sure that you get pressure on the punter to make sure that happens. The rest of these people along the line are going to try to delay and then form a wall. If it is to the right, they'll fall back and form a wall for Timmy to try to get in behind. Tim will fake in here and get behind that wall. Everybody has tried to delay it in here. Now, I don't know whether it's a right, left, or middle here, but that's what they try to do.
And, Pat, what will the Trojans attempt to do with their punter?
Believe me, they'll try to keep it out of his hands. And if they're smart, they'll punt the ball out of bounds or very, very high.
That high kick has been working for him.
Yes, and Spurl has been getting a lot of hang time here so far. Low snap. And he gets another high one. And Brown with the fair catch there at the 33-yard line. There are penalty flags down, however, back by the line of scrimmage. That's a 32-yard punt. Arian, watching Tim Brown, so sure-handed. Since he's been at Notre Dame, can you remember a time when he has fumbled a punt?
Not a punt, but the opening kickoff his freshman year down in Indianapolis Stadium. The first ball that came to him, he was so embarrassed he wanted to go back to Dallas. No one knew how really great he was because it was his first opportunity. But you don't see Timmy miss the ball very often.
Pat, do you think he'd like to go back to Dallas and play in the Cotton Bowl with a Heisman Trophy under his arm? I saw all those Cotton Bowl folks crawling all over Coach Holtz yesterday.
Yeah, there's a pretty good chance he's going to play in a very significant bowl on January 1st. I'd love to see him back down in Dallas, believe me. Cole Haas was here and knocking on Cole Holtz's door.
Boy, Clemson's bowl hopes take a jolt today, don't they?
Well, replay the down.
Little offsetting penalties, so they will replay the down here. Now the bowl picture starting to take a little shape now because you can see so many representatives of all the bowls out today. The Orange Bowl, they are here, and of course they will be out in force for that Oklahoma-Nebraska game coming up November 21st. Boy, mark that one down. If there's one college game you want to see this year, that's going to be the one. Spurl hangs it high. Brown with the fair catch. Boy, he can make a catch in the crowd. He got great hands, doesn't he?
And it looks like they said they didn't give enough room there.
Yeah, that's a penalty flag down on that far side because they did not give him enough room. See, they're going to discuss that down there, and then they'll mark it off. This is the start of our football weekend, of course, on CBS, and tomorrow, remember, 12:30 Eastern Time. We're going to check in on one of the best young coaches in the NFL, Jim Mora, down there with the New Orleans Saints. 12:30 Eastern Time, and then there's our games. Many of you will see the Bears against Tampa Bay. St. Louis taking on the Giants. Boy, the Giants have got to start a winning streak to climb back into that playoff picture. They just about have to win it out. And now let's check in on a couple of changes here. First of all, there's a new quarterback for the Irish. It's Kent Graham. Arrow, what does that indicate?
Got a great arm. He doesn't have the quickness, obviously, of Tony Rice, but they'll probably put it up right here. He's got a lot of talent. Just a freshman also. There he is in the pocket. Going to screen it.
Drops it off the waters, and that freshman gets across midfield to the 45. That's a 12-yard gain.
Excuse me, Brent. Kent Graham is a lot like Berline. Has an excellent arm. He's a big guy, about 6'5", a little heavier than he should be right now, at about 230. But was one of the top players out of the state of Illinois last year.
He is from the same town as Chuck Long. He is now with the Detroit Lions.
And this is expected. Lou Holtz said he was going to come in for a series or two this game.
Mark Green at tailback off the fake, and Graham will throw it again. Interference, it doesn't matter. Brown's got it, and he's free. Inside the 10-yard line. With Garner pushing and hanging on, Brown makes the grab anyway, and it's a 36-yard gain.
What a catch this is by Timmy Brown. It was close to an interception, but there was interference called right there. Look at Timmy grab the ball, shake loose, stays in bounds, and all the way down. All the officials are conferring down here. But here's another look at it. Watch Tim, just breaks to the outside. Graham puts the ball there. There's the interference. The contact is made there by Garner before the ball gets there, but look at Timmy Brown. We've got some kind of a penalty.
Well, even when you cover him, he's dangerous because he was well covered there by Garner.
Wait a minute. This is going against Brown and the Irish. Hold on. They're bringing it back. Timmy was jumping up and down in dismay. Let's get this one sorted out here.
Well, it certainly was not offensive pass interference.
Well, here's the referee.
Defensive pass interference. The runner was down at this point. 1st and
10 from that point. Penalty is declined.
Down.
Runner,
Let's take a look, see whether he's down. I thought maybe he might have been out of bounds from up here, but we couldn't see very well. Down where? His knee didn't touch there.
Wow.
Boy, bad call.
Was it ever? Ball is at the 30 here. First down. Green is back at tailback. Graham fakes to him again. Over the middle to Brown. And Brown out of bounds. There's a penalty marker down as they grab the wide receiver's face mask. Bill Stokes, the linebacker, covering Brown as he came across that time.
To give Lou Holtz some credit here, too, for coming in with Kent Graham. It was a nice strategy when he came in. There was about a minute and a half left in the first half.
Face mask, 5-yard penalty against the defense, enforced from the end of the run.
They're going to get the yardage back one way or the other. Here it is right here with the face mask. No question about that. That wasn't inadvertent.
The Irish have the ball on the Trojan 13. They have 32 seconds, 2 timeouts left. Brown is out to the right. Now here comes Brooks. And he is down at the 11-yard line. The clock moving toward 20 seconds against Coach Smith and the Trojans.
Why the hell don't you go out of bounds? Hell and run!
Somebody wanted to get him out of bounds.
Lou is really hot because he didn't get out of bounds.
Looks like a mild-mannered professor, folks, but let me tell you something. He can work you over real good. I've watched him in practice. So while we've got a timeout, let's take a look at these two fine schools, USC and Notre Dame.
What does leadership look like? At the University of Southern California, it looks like this. Men and women teaching, researching, and serving the region and the nation. In the arts and humanities, in science and medicine, in 21 outstanding professional schools. A century of academic excellence, a legacy of private support. The University of Southern California, leadership for the 21st century.
The University of Notre Dame grew from a vision of Father Edward Sorin, who wanted to build an American Catholic university, the equal of the great medieval universities. Today, Notre Dame is the best-known Catholic university in the world, a residential campus where students come not only to learn, but to learn how to live. Notre Dame serves contemporary society and the church in whose tradition it was founded by being a place where belief informs scholarship, where values give meaning to facts.
The man who is clearly in charge is Coach Holtz. Here's what he had to say moments ago to his quarterback.
In the back of the 40.
All right, unfortunately, something happened to the sound on that tape, but Pat, we heard it anyway. What did he tell the young man?
Well, believe me, it's going to be it should be a pass. 324, Z out, and Z, believe me, folks, is Timmy Brown.
That's right.
All right, now Brown is slotted. That's who Kent Graham, the freshman from Wheaton, will be looking for. Backs up. Brown makes the cut. There he is. There is a penalty flag down at the 15. It goes against Notre Dame.
Nonetheless, Kent Graham made a beautiful throw there to Timmy Brown. And again, Lou Holtz's strategy has paid off here. He came in with a change of pace with Graham. He's done everything that was asked.
And he's doing it with freshmen. Kent Graham, number 17. Tony Rice, number 9. Both freshmen. Look at this throw. Beautiful throw. Timmy had beaten his man badly. Touchdown, but called back.
You know, I have great respect for Holtz as a tactician. I've watched him up at Minnesota with Ricky Foggy when he was outgunned, down at Arkansas when he upset that Oklahoma team in the Orange Bowl, North Carolina State earlier. I'm going to tell you something. He saved Kent Graham for this game, and this changeup that you and Pat are talking about, that really throws a defense off. A running quarterback, then a passing quarterback. Here he comes at him again, runs the delay this time. And that was Braxton Banks, the fullback, who was the ball carrier, running into the heart of the defense. There are very few coaches on a Saturday afternoon who are any better than Lou Holtz. Watch him manage the time here. He wanted that other timeout saved. He has to use his last one here. He knows when he's got to go for the field goal. He was down by 7. They come back and they get 17. He has called virtually every play. He gets help from upstairs. He told us yesterday that he wants to give up that responsibility someday and go to the coordinators, but not now. He knows how important this game is and the bull picture and everything. And when you match wits against a Lou Holtz on a sideline, folks, you got your hands full. Let me tell you that right now.
Here, I'm surprised the ball is on the left hash for this kicker. You have seen Grotto many times. Does he like the ball on the left hash mark rather than the middle of the field?
He's kicked very well this year. He's a tough little guy. He doesn't look very strong, but he won the Bengal bouts at the 155 pounds. That's boxing, and you're going against everybody in this school.
32-yard attempt.
How's that? He likes the left hash mark.
Yeah, Pat, I think he likes the left hash.
Thank you. Answer my question.
Next question.
It was a good point that they could have run the draw more to the middle of the field, but they did wind up on the left hash.
Well, that's 20 unanswered points for the Irish here in the first half, and they've been impressive, haven't they?
And the real adjustment Larry Smith is going to have to make at halftime is with his defense, because they're not letting Rodney Peete do his thing on offense because the defense is on the field too much.
So the focus will be on that Southern California coaching staff at halftime and see what they can do to change up things. 2 seconds left here. It's possible they'll kick this one right on the ground to one of the short men and let the clock run out. And we have already seen Grotto with that short line drive kick. And coming up, the Prudential College Football Report, Jim Nance back in New York, and he'll tell us why Clemson is being routed this afternoon by North Carolina State. That's one of the big upsets of the season so far.
Tell us a little bit about Don McPherson, too, I'm sure.
And we will see next week. Quarterback Syracuse in Pittsburgh, and I look for a big emotional explosion.
And we'll keep telling them about this game.
Yes, Coach, you are enjoying this. But Notre Dame has led Southern Cal at the half before, it seems to me. I can remember a couple of times. The clock runs out. So the Irish pour off the field. They gave up a touchdown on the opening drive, but it was all Notre Dame after that. Rice threw an interception, and then they came back with a field goal, 2 long touchdown drives, and a second field goal. It was an 88-yard drive that led to their first touchdown, and Tony Rice, the sophomore from South Carolina, kept it and stepped on into the end zone. And Notre Dame was on its way. Jim Nance will be back with the College Football Report after this message and a word from your local stations. Off the library here on the Notre Dame campus. Great view, isn't it? Well, Larry Smith studied under Bo Schembechler, and here's what he had to say to John Dockery.
Larry, what'd you tell him at halftime?
Well, we got a run and hit on defense. We're not hitting anybody. We're just letting them run a dive right at us, and that's the first thing we got to do. And then from there on, we got to stop standing around on both sides of the football and make some things happen.
What defensive adjustments?
Just no defensive adjustments. Our guys just got to crank it up and run and hit somebody in the mouth. That's what we got to do.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
That's 15 yards, too, Larry.
Southern Cal kicks it off on the line and down there at the 35-yard line.
Again, trying to keep it away from Tim Brown. Notre Dame will get good field position on the 35-yard line.
Well, having mentioned that, let's take you through a scoring summary. Remember now, the Trojans took the opening kickoff. They marched down for a touchdown, pass from Pete to Jackson. Then Grotto hit a 29-yard field goal. It was 7-3 before Rice ran it in. And then Brown went 5 yards on a touchdown run. Grotto added a second field goal, and it is 20-7 as we start the second half. Tony Rice back in calling signals, and the pitch is fumbled. USC's ball. Keith Davis, the linebacker, number 60, got in to recover the fumble. The pitch intended for number 24, Mark Green.
And a very important play here for the USC defense.
It certainly is. A fumble on the opening. Looks like he didn't look the ball right into his hands, and the pitch could have been just a tad high, but this is just exactly what the Trojans needed.
Ball is at the 31-yard line. It'll be first down.
And it's important for USC offense here to get a touchdown, not just a field goal.
They've got Holt, and he is sent in front of Stephen Webster. He is the quarterback, and here comes Webster. Shades of student body left, and the Irish were equal to the task that time. Boy, did Stan Smagala stand him up, that sophomore cornerback, number 29.
Great story about Smagala right there, as you're going to watch him come up and support on the run. But he was recruited by Jerry Faust, and Lou Holt at first didn't think he was going to be able to play for him. But Smagala has come on, as you can see right here, and played awfully well. And Holtz has welcomed him on the team.
Now Pete, rolling right, sends Webster out as a receiver, intercepted. Ned Bolkar, the inside linebacker, makes a big grab.
What a great job by Bolkar as he flowed right with the roll of Pete and picked that ball off. Watch Bolkar, number 47, right corner of your screen. He keeps flowing. He's in beautiful position as Pete tries to throw the ball, but Bolkar steps up in there, does a great job. Affolter, who caught several passes last week, was the intended receiver.
That is so disheartening. When you start the second half, you recover a fumble, and then you turn it right back into the hands of the Irish. And let's see now if Notre Dame can take advantage of that. They run the delay with Ricky Waters, who replaced Green after that fumble. Sort of an ominous statistic we get, too. Anytime Pete has been intercepted in the second half, Southern California has lost this year. They have been beaten twice.
Threw the ball a little bit late, had the receiver open early, and his other receiver, John Jackson, was open on the outside.
Tim Brown split out to the right.
Calling an audible.
And they give it to Waters. He pounds ahead.
Very important series for this USC defense. They're going to have to bowl the next here. It's 3rd and 3. Important down for the defense. They need the ball back.
They've got 4 yards to go for the first down. Georgia with a strong comeback there for Coach Dooley. Now Banks was very impressive in the first half. He's the fullback. Send Brown in motion. Keeps it now. He pitches to Waters, and Waters gets the first down out to the 40 before Marcus Cotton tackled him.
And guess who made the key block there was Timmy Brown, a very unselfish player. He's not afraid to come in the middle. He's going to be the man in motion right here. And this is a tough block when you're motioning, and then you got to curl back in and make the play, but he did. And he was the key there. That was the reason they picked up the first down.
Tony Rice does a nice job of executing the option play. Been very successful all afternoon.
Brown is out, and Aaron Robb, 21, replaces it. And they give Tim a break after that fine block. And the freshman finding a little daylight that time. So every defense was there.
Every key defensive play, I think, so far this half, the Notre Dame offense has been able to convert.
Is there enough time for Clemson to come back as Syracuse runs it up big in Tennessee? Coming back. There's a shocker, isn't it? Now Anthony Johnson, the Notre Dame fullback, and Tony Brooks, 20, the other freshman tailback, replaces Waters. And he'll throw off a good fake. Almost intercepted. There was double coverage on the big man. Cleveland Coulter came up over the top, the sophomore defensive back.
Another missed opportunity for the defense, though, because this was an excellent opportunity to get the turnover. They didn't really fool anybody. They had Brown well covered. The ball should not have been thrown. Good coverage there by Coulter. Couldn't make the play. Brown knocks him out, so he can't really make a catch.
Now, Timmy Brown probably kept that from being an interception.
8 yards to go for the first here. Johnson, the lone setback. For Brown, makes the grab, battles his way to the 46-yard line, but that is short of the first down, and Coulter, number 8, brings him down.
You know, I'm impressed with Timmy Brown era is, you know, you always see him catching long passes and returning punts, but we're seeing him catch the ball over the middle, and he makes very difficult catches. Good hands.
Well, he's been doing that since he's been here, Pat. I mean, last year in the Coliseum, he came across the middle on 2 and 3 occasions and made some great catches that he's not intimidated by any kind of traffic back there.
10-man front for the Trojans. They may come after Phelan. Larry Smith's specialty, always the kicking team, but instead they draw back. Tanner, line drive, so they put the pressure on, and Tanner may get a decent return. There is also a penalty flag thrown back by the 20-yard line as Tanner gets out to the 30. It was a 16-yard return. But there are penalty markers down at the 20-yard line.
Oh, Brendan, was a clip by number 83, Gary Wellman. Easy call.
So that is 2 big mistakes by the Trojans here early in the third quarter. The interception after the Irish turnover, and now the clip on a good Tanner return.
Brendan's Larry Smith told us the special teams and defense had to play well to have a chance. Today, that's not happened.
A simple country boy has simple needs. A house, a car, and the most advanced high-performance tires on the road.
Take me where this heart began. Love to ride the same good land that my daddy loved.
The Goodyear Eagle VR was developed out of a Formula One racing tire design, and that's important, even if you're just going next door.
Goodyear, take me home. You've got the whole world in your hand. You've got the whole wide world in your hand. You've got the whole world in your hand. You've got the whole world in your hand.
Put the whole world in your hand with Radio Shack's new portable cellular phone. A price and technology breakthrough.
You've got the whole world in your hand.
Only at Radio Shack, the technology store.
No one tells you how to raise a family.
Nothing I ever say gets through to you.
This marriage is over. I don't want to live here anymore.
James Ferrantino, Jill Eikenberry, Family Sins, Sunday.
A symbol of great tradition in college football. I guess the man who really started it all was that legendary coach, Newt Rockne. What a spectacular job he did starting the tradition. As the Trojans come up to the line of scrimmage here against Notre Dame with a 1st and 10. They're pinned back on the 10-yard line. They'll run Webster, and he only gets a couple of hard-fought yards against the middle of that Irish defense. And I'll tell you, a young man who's playing some game is number 47, Ned Bolcar. He is coming into his own here today.
There's a football team that's been averaging 454 yards coming in here, the Trojans, and thus far they've only had 154 yards, which is really a tribute after that 70-yard drive. Forrest Fazio right there as a defensive coordinator, and he's done a good job since that opening kickoff.
Here's the pitch to Webster. Holt leading the way, and he is down at the 11-yard line, and that was Pritchett, the other inside linebacker, getting over on him.
And again, another important down here for USC. It is 3rd and long. If they don't convert here, they have to punt the ball to Timmy Brown, and they're going to get good field position.
You think Larry Smith will want to put it up with...
Oh, yeah, I think you have to. I think you're going to see Pete roll out. Tremendous confidence in Rodney Peete.
His interception the last time.
They'll run Webster. Could not shake free. First to number 27, George Streeter. He was the defender who slowed him up.
Surprising call to me on 3rd and 8. I know he's concerned about the turnover.
And this is the dangerous part of the field for the Trojans because they're going to have to kick it. Timmy Brown, they'll get good field position if nothing else.
Smagala is back, and so is Eilers. They are the the short men, 3 return men, trying to give Brown some protection. He's standing at the 49. And it'll roll dead there at the 42-yard line. So the Irish and Tony Rice with excellent field position after a 27-yard punt. We'll be right back.
Introducing Toyota Corolla for 1988. Dramatic new looks that'll literally stun you. Performance that'll surprise you. And value that is legendary. For 1988, it's a whole new dimension for Corolla. Toyota quality. Who could ask for anything more?
Toyota.
Everybody, yes, everybody.
What do you mean, Fred? Huh? What do you mean?
At Bob Powers Toyota, we let our selection, our service, and our prices do the talking for us. We'll do our very best to put you behind the wheel of a Bob Powers car, truck, or van. At Bob Powers Toyota.
Toyota feeling and the Bob Powers touch.
Little's just a walking down the street singing, do-a-diddy-diddy-dum, diddy-do. Kentucky Fried Chicken's got my favorite thing to eat, singing, do-a-diddy-diddy-dum, diddy-do. They look good, taste fine, only 39 cents, gotta have them all the time.
Kentucky Fried Chicken's new Chicken Little Sandwiches. They cost just a little, but people love them a lot.
Do-a-diddy-diddy-dum.
Well, because he's there, the Irish have good field position again. I'm referring to Tim Brown. They don't want to punt it to him, and they come up a little short. And now it'll be Tony Rice and the Irish looking for a possible knockout. Rice cuts back on that option inside the 35-yard line.
Well, there's been a big seam between the inside fake and the outside pitch man. And he has really taken it. You'll watch here from the end zone. There's the fake that attracts the Trojans. Now watch the seam between the outside man, which doesn't even come into the picture. And, of course, Tony takes advantage of that.
The defensive nose, Don Gibson of Southern Cal, was double-teamed and really just taken right out of the play.
Now here is a second and very short if Notre Dame wants to take a shot with the pass to Brown. Prefer to run right straight ahead for the first down. Boy, I'll tell you, Chuck Lanza's doing a job, isn't he?
Tough on defense. You got to be strong right down the middle, and that's where today so far the Fighting Irish up front have really dominated. Watch again, Lanza did another sensational job on Gibson, the nose tackle.
I know that Abe Gibran of the Seattle Seahawks scouting staff told me that Lanza is one of the players that he wants to look at specifically today, and he's getting an eye full of that center. And they run that fullback right straight ahead, and I'll tell you, Tony Rice is so effective with the option. One of the backers came up and hit him that time. He thought that Rice had kept the ball again, Era. Let's go down to John Dockery with the basketball coach, Digger Phelps. Doc?
Thank you, Brent. And Digger, I want to ask you, does the resurgence of the football program help your program?
Big carryover effect right into December, January, February. There's nothing like having a great football team.
How far can David Rivers take you?
He's got to be the guy this year. When we get 20 points a game out of him, some games we're going to need 30, and he's the type of kid to do it.
Well, thank you, Digger, and good luck. Now back to you, Brent.
All right. Thanks, Doc. Digger does a terrific job here, doesn't he? 7 yards for a first down with this second down. And they run Green. Twists inside the 15-yard line. Braxton Banks opens the way with a devastating block, and Green goes 14 yards.
And a terrific call there by Lou Holtz. Actually, SC moved their defensive line and created a natural hole right there for the tailback. Good block once more by the fullback, Banks, who's done a sensational job all day of doing that.
Key thing coming into this ball game for Lou Holtz was can the offensive line block the Trojans and maintain possession of the ball without putting too much pressure on Rice. They've done it.
That is Marcus Cotton, the linebacker, down for the Trojans. And while we've got a moment, let's check in with Jim Nantz in New York. Jim?
Well, Brett, Big Ten co-leader Michigan State has come back to tie Illinois on Bobby McAllister's 3-yard run, and the Spartans have the ball back on the Illinois 49-yard line with 2 minutes to go. And Clemson down 30-0 at halftime, storming back against NC State, trailing by 10 now with 6 minutes to go at Death Valley. Let's go back now to South Bend.
That one's not over, given the time remaining. And got this break. The entire Notre Dame offense comes over around Coach Lou Holtz. Now here's what happened. Let's see if we can pick it up.
Cotton is 58.
He's coming in from behind right there. And he may have inadvertently been kicked or something in the helmet. Well, we've got a moment here. Let's go downstairs to John Dockery. John?
Brent, you and Pat Nair have been talking about the offensive line of Notre Dame dominating so much all throughout the game. Well, I don't know if you were able to see it up there, but they've done some subtle things in terms of splits. At times, they've taken wider splits to give themselves better angles on the linebacker and more room to run. So that's part of the reason that they're dominating USC. Now back to you, Brent.
All right. John, and the offense has returned to the 20-yard line, and there's a good sign from Cotton. Meanwhile, at the 15, he sits up there.
Clearly, the USC defensive front is not holding the line there, obviously. So what they're going to have to do is try to create a turnover. I think they're going to have to come up and try to knock the ball out of the ball carrier's arms.
You know, Aaron, Pat, there's a good friend of ours that we want to say hello to. We see that Cotton is up. He's walking off now. He was shaken up on the play, but glad to see that it does not appear to be serious. Good friend that we want to say hello to down in Knoxville, Tennessee. Spent so many years up here in the press box calling the Notre Dame games. Lindsey Nelson, great voice of college football for so many years. And Lindsey, I hope you got a log on the fireplace down there and you're enjoying
With
this.
the score the same, we'll move to further action.
That was during my tenure here, you know.
So Rice brings the Irish up to the line with the 1st and 10. Ball at the 14. There's Waters spinning away, and he gets to the 11-yard line before Davis pops him.
The Notre Dame has such a nice change of backs here. They give you Mark Green, who's got some good straight-ahead speed, and then they come right back in with Ricky Waters, who can really dance around.
Actually, that was fairly well defensed. That was good running by Waters. The point of attack right here, he's forced to the outside, and right there he spins. There's 53 Chesley and number 8 Calder that knock one another off.
I love that offensive line. 4 seniors, and they do the job. Great option. Finally into the hands of Green, and he goes for the touchdown.
I think you're going to go for 2 here, too, Brent.
Lewis sitting on 26-7 right now, Era, so I guess the math is in his favor. This was a great fake to Banks, first of all. Then he kept it, rolled outside, finally pitched it into the hands of Mark Green, who extended his arms and reached the goal line for the touchdown. So Green, who exploited Southern California last year in that great comeback, scores here in the 3rd quarter, and we go back to the big interception. The Trojans had an opportunity to cut that deficit. They turn it back over, and Notre Dame makes them pay dearly.
A year ago, Notre Dame converted 3 two-point conversions against Southern Cal in their comeback win. It's a pretty good chance Tim Brown might get the ball, huh?
He's the right half here in this wishbone.
Well, they have several two-point plays. That wasn't one of them.
Who put him in play?
So, Lou a little bit upset about the formation. What in the world is going on out there? So, you never know. He's ahead 26-7, would you, folks?
We're not a company, but outstanding people come to us every day. People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts. People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual. People who become your friends for life. People just like you. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Army. We're the armed forces. It's a great place to start.
Toyota is celebrating 30 years in America with money-saving packages of options on new 88 models. Grand savings up to $1,000 on MR2. Tercel up to $335. Corolla FX up to $694. Camry up to $555. Celica up to $450. Cressida up to $600. Supra up to $610. Come on in. Unwrap a package and save.
And football's Power Elite are retaking the field. The NFL is back in full force tomorrow on CBS Sports.
CBS Sports presents college football. Today's CFA game is sponsored by your Toyota dealer and the all-new Dimension 88 Corolla. Who could ask for anything more? Tandy Computers, because there is no better value, only at Radio Shack. And by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. No matter how far you go, Goodyear takes you home.
Well, Ira, it's been an impressive show by Notre Dame so far.
It really has, and you'll see it doesn't take a crushing block to make. As you watch here, Tom Rader block Chesley. It doesn't take a crushing block to make the play go. Watch Rader just get a piece of Chesley, number 53, deflect him, make him change his course. By that time, Rice has dealt the ball off. And, of course, you see the touchdown there by Mark Green, left tackle Tom Rader.
You know, another thing I noticed on that play, Ira, is Michael Williams, who backed up and replaced Marcus Cotton. He stepped up into the flow that time and got cut off by the tight end and couldn't get back. You don't know if Cotton would have been able to make that play, but he was not there for Southern California. This return starting at the 10, and it was Ricky Irvins. So a reminder, we'll be on the air tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Time with the NFL Today. The aftermath of the strike, close look at the New Orleans Saints. Irv Cross has been around the league, checking in with the Dallas Cowboys. The Chicago Bears will be playing Tampa Bay. And those who are in New York will watch the Giants at 4 take on St. Louis, and that's pretty much a must-win for the Giants, isn't it? All right, here, it's a must-score situation for the Trojans. They need to rally as Pete hits his tight end and gets him for a first down on the opening play. Paul Green out of Fresno, California, and he's a good one. He gets 11 yards. Let's check in now for an update. We know that Clemson may be upset. Let's go to Jim Nance in New York.
Well, Brent, we're going to show you how Indiana scored first against Michigan. It happened after a blocked punt. Dave Schnell to Ernie Jones, the 9th touchdown of the year for Jones, and the Hoosiers lead there in the first quarter, 7-0. And Michigan State tied with Illinois with 15 seconds left. Let's go back to South Bend.
All right, and on this play, Jim, nothing doing here for the Trojans. They don't get anything, and again, I know you'll keep us up to date with everything happening in that Indiana-Michigan game. That's a shame that that game didn't get television coverage today somewhere. This is going to be 2nd and 9, and of course, we want to know more about that Clemson story. That is very important for the Fighting Irish as far as the polls are concerned, all right? Now we've got 2nd and 9. They split the backs, and Pete will attempt to rally the Trojans. Complete. Now this time, that's off Holter, number 42.
What we haven't seen, there's Clemson coming back some, still trailing there by 10. But what we have not seen much from USC today is the option play, which they ran so successfully a week ago against Washington.
Boy, what a job, Era, Coach Mallory doing with the Hoosiers of Indiana.
A remarkable job. I think they're for real. Of course, I know Bill Mallory. I recruited him. He played for me.
On the 3rd and 1, a mistake, and Pete, though, made the most of it. Turned around and dove for that first down for USC. Well, that's a mark of an experienced quarterback. You can see what Rodney does in the second half. There's 3 interceptions in the 2 losses so far. And in their wins, he did not throw an interception. So here he's got a first down. The ball is at the 46. Scott Lockwood is in as his tailback. And Pete will throw right away. Incomplete. He overthrew his tight end Green that time. And he got the ball up a little bit too high and took a licking in the process, Harold.
He really did. He took a real shot. I thought for a minute he might be hurt, but he just laid there a minute. He's back up and he's fine.
He's 8 of 18 for 101 yards, 1 touchdown, and a very big interception here in the opening moments of the third quarter.
One of the things I like about Rodney Peete, I think is a good trait for any quarterback to have, is he does not get down. Does not get down when he throws a bad pass or his team is behind.
Yeah, Webster checks back in. He's got the 2nd and 10. He'll swing it to Webster on the outside, looking for daylight. And he gets a good half of that yardage as he busts inside the 40-yard line, and you know who's there. Number 47, Ned Bolcar. He's been a standout defensively for Holtz.
With a 3rd and 4 situation, again, this becomes important because of the score. You have to look at this now from USC's viewpoint as 2 downs to gain 4 yards. I believe they will have to go for it on 4th down if they don't make it here.
No, there's no question about that.
Now Pete brings the Trojans to the line. And he'll use a timeout right here. Saw something he didn't like with the defense, and he wants to talk it over with Coach Smith. So that'll give us an opportunity to take a break, and we'll come back. Notre Dame in command, but the Trojans are driving.
We're not a company, but no company has more pride in what they do, or more pride in how well they do it. We offer you a meaningful and fulfilling future, one that goes far beyond the ordinary, one that brings with it the respect and admiration of Americans everywhere. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Air Force, the Marines, the Army, the Navy. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
I'd like to deposit a check, please.
Jeffrey Houdray has never heard of Unisys.
All the way from France.
It's from my grandfather.
Have a seat.
But Unisys systems process half of the checks in the U.S. each day. 30 of the world's 50 largest banks rely on Unisys for everything from international bank transfer to quick customer service. Jeffrey just knows that a new 10-speed bike is almost his. Unisys in banking, the power of 2.
Tuesday, it's a celebration of the heroes and heroines of the air as CBS and host William Shatner salute 40 years of the U.S. Air Force. Top flight.
Jim Nance back in New York. Michigan State on the final play of the game missed a field goal from 26 yards. John Langlow's kick was blocked by the Illini, so it ends in a tie. Clemson has added another touchdown, 3:50 to go. The 2-point conversion makes it 30-28. Tigers trailing, 3:50 left at Death Valley. Let's go back to Brent.
All right, Jim, here comes another David Treadwell field goal. 31-30. I can see it now in Death Valley. It'll be raining orange. Here the Trojans need a touchdown badly. They have got about 5 yards to go. And Pat, your thoughts on 3rd down?
Interesting strategy, I think, for Larry Smith here. I think you need to take 2 downs to get the 1st down, perhaps 2 runs.
Now with Michigan State being tied, Indiana a chance to move atop the Big Ten. So we'll be tracking that one now as Pete comes back and throws for the 1st down. He hits Offhalter, Eric Offhalter, the junior, out of Agoura, California.
The protection was excellent.
You know, time is very much a factor here, too. I think USC needs to do a good job of getting in and out of the huddle as well as scoring.
Well, they got 19 minutes back. There's a lot of time. And Pete, if he's hot, can make a lot of completions.
Tanner comes out to the left. Offhalter to his right. This is Holt, the fullback, cut off by that Irish defense, and that was Bolcar again leading the way for them. And that little bit of a fullback draw did not confuse the Irish. So Saturday looks like this with TCU shutting out Baylor in the Southwest. Harvard with a win in the Ivy League, and John Dockery smiling. Army in trouble against a pretty good Rutgers team this year. West Virginia may cause some trouble down the road. Gordy Lockbaum's team doing well. Cornell winning over Dartmouth. And Yale a win as the Trojans come to the line. And Rodney Peete off the fake. Throws for Jackson. Leader was inside the 5-yard line and well covered down there by Marv Spence.
Looked like he should have had that ball.
That's the 2nd ball that John Jackson probably should have caught, and it's also the 3rd time we've seen Marv Spence, number 25, put some good coverage on. Little post pattern there by Jackson. The ball was well thrown right out in front, right in his hands. He should have had the ball.
Those good throw by Rodney Peete. Excellent.
You need those kinds, obviously, when you're down 26-7.
Peete pulls out. Threw too quickly. Randy Tanner had not turned around, and the ball was thrown behind him as he was running his route to the left.
Like mistiming that time.
Yes, Rodney Peete threw the ball awfully early, and I think Tanner slipped here a little bit on the break. Good coverage by Spence. He took a lot of tiny steps before he made the break. It took a long time to slow down for Tanner. That's why the ball was thrown early.
Here is Quinn Rodriguez. Look at his hands, folks. Somebody named Rodriguez would come to the Midwest with gloves, right? And he missed on the field goal. 42-yard miss for SC. Nothing falling their way.
Larry there is saying, hey, some days nothing goes right.
Very disappointed with the special teams all year long. It's been a trait of his teams over the years at Arizona. Very good special teams.
You know, one of the things that Coach Marsegan and all the coaches at Notre Dame have going for them, they're national recruiting. Take a look, USC, 62 players from California, 1 from right here in South Bend, Indiana. But look at the Irish. All the states that they go into. It helps to be a national institution. One of them, Tim Brown, out of Dallas, Texas, who now becomes by far the leading candidate for that Heisman, was slotted to the right, and they run right straight ahead with the fullback, and the Southern Cal defense certainly ready for him that time.
SC defense must create a turnover here. They have to start stripping the ball carrier of the ball.
Pat, they had that golden opportunity early in that fumble, the first play of the third quarter by the Fighting Irish. They did not capitalize on it. Had they capitalized on it, certainly they could have changed the momentum in this ball game. But the Irish came back with an interception, which was very helpful to them.
Well, Marcus Cotton is still not on the field defensively for the Trojans. And they bring Waters. Gaping hole that time. And he gallops out to the 40-yard line, and Carrier brings him down. And Tim Brown leading the way for that 13-yard run.
And again, guess where Lou Holtz is attacking the defense, right where Marcus Cotton ordinarily is. 54 Williams comes in, misses really the play as we watch Brown make the block on Butts. But again, give Holt's play selection some credit too. Cotton is out, and he's attacking that part of the field.
Now Cotton returns. So Cotton checks back in after that game. And the fullback Braxton Banks is defended on that first down. Tim Ryan, 99, leading the way for the Trojans.
If there are that many white jerseys around the fullback on the option play, Tony Rice is going to have a big lane outside.
Time running down.
Could have been a pre-call that, excuse me, Brett. The fullback may have been a pre-call that time. Sometimes they read it down the line, and other times they pre-call it. And it appeared that that may have been a pre-call.
Anthony Johnson checks in, coach, at fullback, and Banks is out.
Here comes.
Look around. Here comes Brown. Tripped up. Still partially maintained his balance. Got to the 45-yard line for a gain of 14 yards, and unhappy with himself that he couldn't maintain his balance completely because he thought he had a touchdown that time.
Well executed reverse, and if Timmy had kept his feet here, he just gets tripped up. He runs the 40 in 4.38. He'd been hitting for that end zone. It was excellent balance to get the yardage that he did get.
He'll come out after that run, and Aaron Robb checks in. Rice keeps it off the option, and he gets to the 41. Well, let's present this week's Toyota Leadership Awards. These are the men who have been singled out by the coaching and faculty staffs for performance and team contributions, academics, and citizenship. From USC, Keith Davis. He's a business and finance major. And from Notre Dame, Byron Squirrell, mechanical engineering graduate. Toyota donates a check in the amount of $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund. Second down, it's Waters to the 40. Gain of about 1 yard that time. Keith Davis, the inside linebacker, coming across with the penetration to break up that play. Well, on the day, Pat Hayden, how is Brown doing in all-purpose yardage?
Well, 4 rushes for 41 yards and he received 4 passes for 46. An average day for Tim Brown.
And we'll go to the fourth quarter with the Irish leading 26-7. College football on CBS returns after this message and a word from your local sponsors.
When you face the Iditarod, you better bring some extra courage, a good team of dogs, and boots tough enough for the last great race on earth. Boots built on the notion that a life could depend upon the integrity of every stitch and every seam. Timberland boots. More quality than you may ever need. Tested by the most unforgiving judge of all.
Wait till you see the changes we're making at Howard Johnson.
This is Howard Johnson?
This is Howard Johnson?
This is Howard Johnson?
This is Howard Johnson.
Your face takes enough abuse, so you need the Gillette Good News Plus disposable. Its Lubra-Smooth strip is designed to reduce irritation, so shaving feels so good. Good News Plus.
Being grown-up is more complicated than playing grown-up. That's why Nationwide Insurance has simplified financial planning with our Universal Life policy. It's a new generation of life insurance that gives you competitive interest rates, plus tax advantages, and is flexible enough to change as your life changes, to give you the kind of blanket protection you need throughout your life.
Nationwide is on your side.
This is CBS.
Making it in Indiana, your Ford dealer and you. Making it better and better. Making it grow every day. Making it home and a place of your own. You're making it in your own special way. Making the most of it by putting your best into everything you do. Making it in Indiana, your Ford dealer and you. Making it.
You're making it stronger by always giving your best.
Making it.
You're making it brighter with
All the talent that you possess. Making it happen and making it real. You're making dreams come true. Making it in Indiana.
your Ford dealer and you.
People's Court, weekdays at 5:30 on Wish TV, Channel 8. CBS Sports presents college football. Today's CFA game is sponsored by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. Toyota, setting the standard for quality and value. And by Unisys, the power of two.
A century of football memories, and Notre Dame may be able to beat the University of Southern California for the 5th straight year. That'll be something, the way this series has gone back and forth for the last 60 years. Tony Rice brings the Irish up to the line. We start the fourth quarter, 26-7, Notre Dame over USC. On the third down option, he pitches to Green. Green gets the corner, and he's out of bounds at the 26-yard line with Carrier in pursuit. Carrier down, number 7.
Brett, the combination of trying to defend Tim Brown and the option play is very, very difficult because you have to commit so many players to Brown.
And the execution of Tony Rice is really remarkable for the little experience that he has. He's playing like a polished quarterback.
Brown comes out, and the Cardinals strike first on a Tommy Herr home run. Cardinals trying to end it in 6 today. They pound straight ahead with the fullback. Anthony Johnson and Braxton Banks, the 2 fullbacks. Banks has played most of the game, but they also go with Johnson. And a view from outside. The
of the opposition coming in here to play in this stadium. Something you remember the rest of your life. A very special place for college football players.
Yeah, and for fans, too, I think. This is one place you should always come.
I say the same about the Coliseum.
Rice keeping it on the option. And he's down there at the 25-yard line. Pat, I guess my question to you would be, after the opening drive offensively for the touchdown, why didn't the Southern California defense play with more emotion? We heard from Coach Smith at the half. He obviously was disappointed in their effort.
Well, I am absolutely surprised in this kind of game, but USC has been up and down emotionally this year. An emotional win last week against Washington, but you need to sustain that, particularly on defense, because half the defense is emotion.
I think he's going with a pass here.
He did indeed. Incomplete. He wanted his fullback. Marcus Cotton took a shot at Rice. Marcus Cotton came in and got the quarterback that time as he was throwing the ball. We got a moment, so let's check in with Jim Nance.
All right, Brent. Demetrius Brown is bringing back the Wolverines. Here the lefty throws into the corner to John Colasar. The touchdown and the extra point ties it at 7 in Bloomington. Let's go back to Brent.
So Indiana jumps ahead 7-0, and that is Tony Rice, who is down on one knee being tended to. He took a shot. We'll see if we can get a glimpse of the linebacker coming in on him. It was Cotton, and he got in on him.
Got him right underneath the helmet.
This was the earlier play when the defense had pounded him down right there. And then it was following that, when he pulled out on the pass play, that he took the shot.
He took a shot right in the chin. I think he's knocked woozy.
So he'll come to the sideline, and Kent Graham, the freshman from Wheaton, Illinois, will come into hole with Grottle attempting the field goal. It'll be a 42-yard field goal. Blocked. It was blocked by the middle of that defensive unit. Pat, did you get any indication as to who came after it?
Yeah, it was right. I think it might have been Don Gibson from the inside, but Coulter made the recovery.
Coulter had an actual chance to run the ball. Let's see who gets it here from the outside.
It was outside. I think it's Ricky Irvin's number 34. Yeah, 34.
I'll tell you, I thought watching it live that it was a hand in the middle. Let me see if somebody didn't come down that way. And that first pass is caught by Opholter. We get confirmation from the truck that it was Don Gibson. Right in the middle, number 92, who was able to get a hand. See him raise that right paw and just kind of swat it off to the side there. Now, after that completed pass, this will leave Southern California with a second and about half a yard to go for a first down, actually. They're battling the clock every second. Precious now, but was sitting on 26. It's not impossible. And USC got the first down, I think, before his forward progress was stopped, and then he was pushed back.
But they cannot waste any time in the huddle. They have to keep moving. Either call the play on the line of scrimmage or get 2 plays called. That's just what they're doing. No huddle.
See, one of the advantages of 26-7 is you don't have to go for the 2 if you think you can get 3 touchdowns. But you got to strike early. They're going to come from the shotgun and throw out of it. So Pete shows his shotgun for the first time, almost intercepted.
It was a nice job by George Streeter knocking the ball down, number 27.
Well, we've got a final on that Clemson game. Jim Nance, what happened?
Well, Brent, the Clemson comeback bid fell short, 30-28. The Tigers drove all the way down to the Wolfpack 44-yard line, then ran out of downs, and the Wolfpack ran out the clock. 30-28, first loss of the year for the Tigers. Let's go back to South Bend.
All right, Jim, thank you. And so there's an opening in the top 10. Now it's Holt off the draw play, and that won't go anyplace. And When you're playing catch-up, that was Jeff Coons, number 93.
Not a bad call, a draw call. Unusual, though, to use the fullback rather than the tailback.
So the Twins tie it up. In the bottom of the first inning, they just get that World Series game underway up in the Dome. Now it's 3rd and almost 10. Complete for the first down to Offholter.
Little shotgun that time from Pete. He had plenty of time, too.
And the 3 wide receivers in the formation trying to spread the Irish defense out.
Jackson, Tanner, Offholter are the wide men. And he sends his backs out of that shotgun formation, and this time he threw underneath to Webster, and that's another first down. They'll move the chains and stop the clock. And Tony Rice being assisted to the locker room. We get word that it is a cut under the chin.
That's exactly where Marcus cut and put his helmet.
Ball at the 38. Pete steps away. Still in trouble. Incomplete. And that Irish secondary responding there. Smagala was there, but Marv Spence, 25, got the job done.
Boy, Marv Spence has really done a sensational job here in coverage today. And Foge Fazio, the defensive coordinator of Notre Dame, has really head coach at Pitt for many years, done a terrific job. One of the best.
Let's go down to John Dockery. Doc?
Yeah, Brent, let me just tell you what happened with Tony Rice. He did take a shot in the left cheekbone, and it is cut, but he was very woozy, and it appeared as though he may have been just knocked unconscious. Now back to you. Not unconscious, but woozy.
All right, thanks, Doc. We saw Foge with the call. Defensively, the wide receiver was covered, and Fazio's defense got a very good rush on Pete that time. Smagala all over Offholter, and here is Foge down on the sideline. And someday, I dare say, another school will come along and offer him a head coaching opportunity again.
One of the unusual things Foge Fazio does defensively, he puts defensive linemen over the guards, which you don't see much in college football.
Pete with good protection this time, and he throws to Jackson for the first down.
Well, that's a beautiful throw. Good lead.
Good protection again up front in the middle. Rodney Peete really has enjoyed pretty good protection. It's been the defensive secondary of Notre Dame that's really done the job.
But the coverage looks good here, Pat. And Jackson and Pete hook up real well. Those Streeters just couldn't quite get to it.
Steps away from the pressure, and he'll have to turn back.
Oh, boy. That's a great catch.
What a beautiful catch by Offholter.
Wow. Sensational catch.
Good scramble by Pete again, avoiding the rush.
I'll tell you, that's 11 yards. And looking at that clock, 11:30, if they could stick one in about a minute and a half here, they'd have 10 minutes to work with. And if you can get a touchdown every 5 minutes, no matter who you're playing, if your defense will stand tall.
Right, yeah, the defense has got to stop it.
Now here, this big moment in this football game. Trojans trying to stick one in. And this is Webster, jumps up over the middle, and the ball comes free. The ball comes free. It goes over to Notre Dame. Ned Volcar recovers it. Number 47 has been every place here this afternoon.
This is the best way to stop a drive defensively. Webster cooperates with after being really hit. Volcar comes up with the ball, and a big turnover for the Irish to keep the Trojans out of the end zone.
Volcar down there on the ground, alertly recovering the fumble. We'll be right back.
If you could ask for Toyota quality and get a truckload of free options. Chrome bumpers, free. Style steel wheels, free. Sports striping, free. Full carpeting, crossbench seats, all free. $630 worth of free options on Toyota limited edition 4x4s. Priceless Toyota quality and free options. Now who's looking out for number one? Toyota. Who could ask for anything more?
Ready to
quarterback a scoring drive of your own? Go with NFL Armchair Quarterback, the TV football game that's got everyone playing along with the pros. Call the plays during the game, and if you're right, it'll add up to victory. NFL Armchair Quarterback includes everything you need to play along with any live football game. So don't just be a watcher, be a winner. Get NFL Armchair Quarterback or you'll miss the big game of the season. Available at Kmart, Toys R Us, and other fine stores everywhere.
When your home's not properly winterized, it can seem like you've never come in from the cold. So come into a True Value hardware store and get a patio door insulating kit by 3M for inside or out. Your choice only $8.44. Keep pipes from freezing with wrap-on heat tape, just $4.99. Then seal cracks to help stop drafts with Polycell foam sealant for only $3.99. And keep your furnace running efficiently with a new air filter. They're just 59 cents each at participating True Value hardware stores.
Era, it was Fazio's team defense that did the job here. Let's take a look at it.
That's exactly right. Team defense. Flannery, 92, 34. Pritchard and Wells, 5. Watch them come in. And 92 Flannery, I think, gets the first piece right there. He puts his right arm on the ball, left arm on the ball. There comes Wells along with Pritchard, and the ball belongs to the Irish.
And now they go with Kent Graham, replacing the injured Tony Rice. Ricky Waters comes in at tailback. His fullback is Anthony Johnson. Tough spot for the freshman quarterback right now. But Lou Holtz gave him valuable playing time in the first half of this game. And they bring Waters out on first down. He's the ball carrier.
You're right, Brent. You know, the backup quarterback is always just one play away. We see Tony Rice get hurt, and that's, again, I give Lou Holtz some credit. He told us yesterday that Kent Graham was going to get a couple of series. And here, of course, he needs him because the Rice got hurt.
Don Baylor, the DH today for the Twins. And look at Syracuse. You'll get a chance to see them next week. Just how good is this Syracuse team? Well, they're going to bounce up again in the rankings as Clemson is beaten at home by North Carolina State. Now, Tim Brown comes in motion. This is Green in at tailback. Cuts for daylight out to the 18-yard line. Very close to a first down. 10-yard run. Mark Carrier bringing him down. Let's go downstairs to John Dockery. Doc?
You know, Brent, before Lou Holtz got here, his son Skip was at Notre Dame. And Skip, were you the man who broke the ice?
Yes, sir. I was here first. I graduated from high school in '82 in Arkansas and came up here to school from there.
You know, I didn't realize that your dad was so intense. Where did he get that from?
I believe he probably gets a little bit of it from Woody Hayes, who was an assistant coach under in '68 and '69. But he's such a perfectionist. I think when things don't go right, he tends to get a little bit upset.
You know, we're going to go up to Brent for a minute because I know you're at Florida State right now and you have some tough games coming up. I want to ask you about that Auburn game. Brent, we'll come back down, please.
One big difference between Holtz and Woody. Woody would never wear a jacket on a day like this. Fumble. USC dives back in on that loose ball. Let's see. Notre Dame, however, was able to get it. And let's go back downstairs to John Dockery. Doc?
Thank you, Brent. And a couple of weeks ago, we had the Miami-Florida State game. Of course, Bobby called and went for the 2 and missed it. Has the team recovered from that yet?
Yes, sir. We bounced back the following week against Southern Miss and played quite well against them. We're just right now, we have the week off, and then we'll come back Sunday and start preparation for Tulane and then Auburn away.
Well, good luck to you. Okay, Brent?
All right. We may see Florida State against Auburn. That'll be a great game in a couple of weeks. And they run Banks, the fullback, out close to the first down here on second down as that clock comes down to 9:20. The Irish are playing a clock game right now. They're ahead 26-7, and it's working against Coach Smith and USC here this afternoon.
And the defense has to come up with a turnover. And the only way you're going to do that, because I don't believe Notre Dame is going to throw the ball, is strip the ball carrier.
You know, we've all talked about a national championship. Let me tell you, a once-beaten Notre Dame team, if they can survive the schedule they face, they are not out of it either.
Lou Holtz has really had a tough schedule.
They bring Green for the first down, and Keith Davis, who's been a very active inside linebacker for the Trojans, brings him down, number 60.
Well, you know, the defense has been on the field for USC an awful long time today. You always hear coaches talking about not having the defense on the field so long, and that's because it takes twice as much energy to play defense than it does offense.
Well, I think Lou Holtz has done a remarkable job here in the short period of time that he's been with the Irish. He uses uses the personnel exceptionally well, as we saw at the tail end of the first half.
Yeah, the time clock.
Get your seat! Get your seat! Can't you get the damn ball game?
Now the coach is a little bit upset about his
Repeat first down. How would you like to tell him it's just a game?
Yeah, right. Now, you know, that is the first, as I recall in my conversation with Holtz yesterday, and I said, how do you handle a clock? He said, we haven't had a delay penalty all season long. Now, that's the first one, and that's why he's so upset. And we have seen that mistake all season long in college football. Notre Dame had been able to avoid it by getting the ball snapped before the clock expires. So the coach furious with his first delay of game, and here comes Tim Brown trying to swing to the outside, and he is tripped up that time by Corvette.
One of the other things, Brent, that Notre Dame has done such a nice job of this year, and again it goes back to Lou Holtz, is they have not turned the ball over much. They've only had 4 fumbles all year long.
You know, the other thing you got to keep in mind, Lou Holtz is playing with a freshman quarterback in there right now, true freshman, and of course Rice was basically a freshman. Waters is a freshman. Brooks is a freshman. Jacobs is a freshman. True freshman, not redshirt freshman. And I think he's done a remarkable job with the discipline that he's put into this ball club.
Graham pulls out off the fake. Wants Brown. Knocked down beautifully that time. Cleveland Coulter, the sophomore from Tempe, Arizona, knocking the ball away.
The USC secondary is very young as well, but they are very, very talented. Great speed back there. One of the players is Coulter, the sophomore. Read this well, came over from the safety position, put the nice play on Brown. Good defense.
Carrier, Coulter, both have played well here this afternoon. Tracy Butts has contributed a play. Coed came up with one a moment ago. This is great hit that time. They couldn't even move, and that was Butts delivering the blow again. Well, I'll tell you, number 30 can really come up and hit you.
Now, I think USC has to try to block the punt here, as we're going to watch number 30, Tracy Butts. Very good on support. They like him on running downs. Defeats a blocker and puts the stop on. I think they must try to block a punt.
Got a 10-man front. Phelan will stand back inside his 10 to take the snap. Perfect snap. Gets it away. It's low. That's Tanner. Down at the 40-yard line. A 40-yard punt, and it was returnable, but because of excellent coverage by the speed men, he can only bring it back 2 yards. We'll be right back.
It took 2,000 years, but a revolutionary discovery is changing the way men think about coloring their gray hair. It's called Just for Men, from the leader in men's hair coloring. Simply apply Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, shampoo out. Your gray is blended away, leaving your natural-looking color. 5 minutes. Here, look at me. Just for Men leaves your hair looking healthy and fuller, and it won't fade or wash out. Just for Men, in the men's hair care section.
It's so easy to own Tercel. It's so easy.
The 1988 Toyota Tercel EZ. The price will take you right back to the 50s. Only $59.48. Reliable Toyota Tercel with a price dialed down to the 50s. Right now, power and zip, contemporary up-to-the-minute style, good old 50s price.
Tercel, who could ask for anything more?
They crushed Penn State and charged into the top 10. They are the season's dream team, Syracuse. But can they topple Pittsburgh next Saturday on CBS Sports?
Well, so far, Notre Dame has beaten 3 Big Ten teams, Air Force in the WAC, and ahead of them, Navy. They'll be heavily favored. They'll be heavily favored against Boston College. Then they get to come home where they will be a favorite against Alabama. They'll go into Penn State, perhaps the favorite there, but beware. The Nittany Lions will want to turn their season around. Then it's down to Miami for the big one at the end of the year. And there is the fullback fumbling after the completion. Ned Bolcar rips into him, and Holt went back down after the loose ball. How good do you think this Notre Dame team is, Pat Hayden?
I've been very, very impressed with the offensive line. There's lots of good backs in college football, but not too many strong offensive lines, but Notre Dame has one of them.
And why was Pittsburgh era able to beat them? What happened in that Pitt game?
Well, the first half, as Lou Holt said, everything that Pittsburgh did was perfect, and certainly everything that Notre Dame did was wrong. They played a great second half.
There's a first down for Southern California. They're battling the clock now. They're inside of 6 minutes. They have wasted a couple of opportunities, Pat. A couple of big mistakes by the Trojans here in the second half.
Well, the biggest break in the opening drive when they recovered the fumble, then they turned it back over on interception. But I've been impressed here. They're not giving up. They haven't folded their tents. They're trying their best to get back in the ball game, and I think that's a credit to the USC team.
Could use a home run play here.
The blitz.
Pete, he's going to go for it, and he overthrows the receiver. Opholter, the intended receiver. Let's get an update, and here's Jim Nance in New York. Jim?
All right, Brent, Michigan now in front of Indiana after Mike Gillette connected from 44 yards on the field goal. 7 minutes left first half at Bloomington. And perhaps today's most interesting coaching matchup, Howard Schnellenberger of Louisville beating former Notre Dame coach, now the Akron coach, 31-10. Jerry Faust losing there, I should say. But let's go back to Brent.
All right, Jim, thank you. That is an interesting coaching matchup there. Schnellenberger at Louisville and Faust at Akron. He was here. Now, remember, he recruited some of these offensive linemen we're talking about, too. Some things we have to give Jerry credit for. A lot of penalty flags down as the ball comes free. There were penalty markers down on that play. Era, your feeling about this Notre Dame football team and the schedule the rest of the way. How do you see it?
Well, the Navy Ball Club next week looks very favorable for the University of Notre Dame. And, of course, then you get Boston College with a good passing attack, Alabama, which is always tough, and then Penn State and then Miami. That's a very difficult schedule that they have to play yet. But I got to take my hat off to...
Offense, penalty is refused, third down.
I take my hat off to Lou Holtz right there, along with the coaching staff, for bringing this team along so rapidly. And young people to do it with. The only experience that he has is in that offensive line, and he's utilized it well.
He's intense, isn't he? He works that sideline. Now Pete calling the play up at the line of scrimmage. Third down. And there he's going for it again, and he overthrows the deep man.
Tough day for Rodney Pete. Really, Eric Affolter is not their deep threat. It's Ken Henry or maybe John Jackson.
That's good. You know, Pat, that first drive, the way they came out, moved the ball 70 yards, people open all over the field. It looked like Pete was going to have a sensational day, but...
He hasn't been on the field enough. The defense has been on the field way too much.
17-35 for 191 yards.
Fourth down.
Everybody out. Incomplete. It'll go to Notre Dame. And at the 5:28 mark.
Once again, tremendous coverage by the secondary. George Streeter, number 27 there, and Brandy Wells doing a great job in coverage.
Old soldiers never die, but neglected batteries do. That's why I feel better with a Delco battery under the hood. Sealed tight, maintenance free. With plenty of startup power to handle cold mountain weekends.
Precision AC Delco parts. They don't just fit, they match.
We old soldiers spend our time on live trout, not dead batteries.
Now get up to $5 back on Delco batteries. See your retailer for details.
6 new stores, and Value City Furniture is celebrating with a grand opening sale in every store nationwide. We're bigger and better than ever, and our gigantic buying power makes it possible to offer you guaranteed lowest prices on every item in our huge showrooms. Plus, we have the terms just right for you. 90 days same as cash or $2,500 instant credit with no money down. Watch for this color circular coming to your home. Now's the time to buy and save big during the grand opening sale at all Value City Furniture stores nationwide.
Pete, Sims, Herschel, and football's Power Elite are retaking the field. The NFL is back in full force tomorrow on CBS Sports.
Run that
Coach,
ball.
who's that being helped off the field here?
That's Flannery, Brian Flannery, number 92, who replaced Jeff Coons, who was hurt with a knee. Now it looks like Flannery's hurt. That means they're going to have to find another defensive tackle. Let's hope it's not too serious.
Well, they'll work against the clock right now. We have seen three tailbacks behind this big, overpowering offensive line. Mark Green, Ricky Waters, and Tony Brooks. But the stars have to be Byron Spruell, Jeff Pearson, Chuck Lanza, Tom Freeman, and Tom Rader. They are that offensive line, and they have simply dominated the Trojans at the line of scrimmage. There's Brooks. He's one of the two freshmen coming through that time. We want to get an injury update. Let's go downstairs to John Dockery. Doc?
Brent, they were examining Flannery's back. They took him into the locker room. The update on Tony Rice is that they suspect a mild concussion. They took him to the locker room for some pictures. Obviously, they're keeping him in here. They don't need him out here when the score is 26-7. Okay, Brent.
All right, Doc, I want to go over the hometowns of that offensive line. Raiders out of California, Santa Maria. Freeman's from Mission Hills, Kansas. Lanza's out of Germantown, Tennessee. Pearson's a Chicagoan. And Spruell is out of a suburb of Chicago, Aurora, Illinois. And I would think, Pat, as Pete Graham, number 11, is now operating at quarterback. He is the other Graham, so there are two Grahams. He's driving the offense. I think this Notre Dame offensive line is the most impressive of all the offensive lines we've seen.
Oh, absolutely. And again, like as I said a moment ago, there's lots of good running backs around college football. Notre Dame has 3 of them, but you don't get a chance unless the horses up front do their job.
Now, this quarterback, Graham, is out of Rumson, New Jersey. He's a 6'3 junior. Handing off to Brooks, who goes nowhere. And that was Tim Ryan, number 99. He's played his heart out here this afternoon for the Trojans.
You know, Brett, we've talked an awful lot about Lou Holtz, but Larry Smith, I think, this is his first year at Southern Cal. I think he's going to do great things there ultimately. It takes 2 or 3 years, I think, to get a program going. And he is a coach who's been successful everywhere he has gone. He's on the right track at Southern Cal. He'll be competing for the conference championship year in and year out.
Well, Lou would settle to work this clock down and get himself into good field position and even kick a field goal here. Dive over the top by Steve Bellis. And let's get a Big Ten roundup, and here's Jim Nance. Jim?
All right, Brent, Michigan State, of course, 3-0 coming into today, but the Spartans today tying Illinois, missing on that 26-yard field goal in the game's final play. Indiana can take sole possession with a win, but right now Hoosiers trailing against Michigan in the second quarter, and Ohio State leading Minnesota in the second, 14-3. Golden Gophers haven't won in Columbus since 1949 when Bud Grant played for Minnesota. Let's go back to the Brent Patton era.
That is a time, Jimmy. All right, here we have a third down. This is Brooks. Couldn't find any running room. You know, I want to talk about the top 10 right now because of the Clemson upset. Things could happen there. Now, Oklahoma, Nebraska, and Miami, Florida State, and LSU, they can sit right there in the top 5 spots if everything goes according to form. The next 5, however, Auburn, Clemson. Clemson will fall out. Syracuse will move up at least 1 spot, and won't it be interesting as to how the voters judge Notre Dame? Will they jump ahead of Syracuse or UCLA, or will they all 3 just move up 1 spot? And that's for the voters to determine, and coaches in the UPI and the writers and the broadcasters in the AP.
Yeah, UCLA has a chance, too, of blowing out an opponent today. They play Cal.
Now there's a delay of game against Notre Dame. What about blowing out opponents to move up in the polls? Era, did you ever do that?
You want to start into that one?
I just ask a question.
Get that 8-page letter that I wrote for you.
I didn't start
it was published in the Miami Herald.
Vince Phelan to punt it.
Well, he's going to try to punt. They're going to try to block the punt, of course.
He's standing there right inside the 50. Gets it off. Fair catch at the 10-yard line. Next Saturday, we'll show you that Syracuse team against Pittsburgh. They have got a great quarterback, Don McPherson. And we saw him run the option to perfection. Off the fake, cut inside, threw for 3, ran for 2 more against Penn State. And he's got a marvelous wide receiver. Tommy Kane out of Canada. Out of 3rd and long, watch Kane make the catch. What a great grab. And you'll see them against Pitt. Here it's Rodney Peete trying to throw, and he hits Offholter coming out. First down at the 25-yard line. 15-yard gain. You know, McPherson was red hot again today. He was 10 of 11 for 244 yards. He threw for 4 touchdowns, and he caught a pass as Syracuse beat Colgate 52-6.
He is definitely the best quarterback we have seen play this year.
I would agree with that. Era, I know you were somewhat surprised when we came and told you how good McPherson is, but he's a very talented young man.
I really was, and when I saw the highlight film, I couldn't believe the speed and quickness that he has.
Yeah, you know, I want to hold up on that one thing, because I thought Tommy Hudson was awfully good down at LSU, too. I may have overlooked him. I know he threw that bad interception against Ohio State, Pat, but I thought he had a lot of talent.
Only a sophomore down there.
2:18 to go. Who would have thought it? He hits Randy Tanner. Who would have thought the game would go this way, Era, after that opening drive by the Trojans?
Now, it's a tribute to the Irish defense and the entire defensive staff, because they've had the Trojans under control, but certainly you have to give an asset plus to the offense, which controlled the ball and kept it away from the Trojans.
There's Pete firing complete into that seam. That's Offholder. He's been active today.
Well, Rodney Pete really has a nice little delivery. No wasted motion when he gets the ball downfield.
Trying to drive the Trojans for a quick score here inside of 2. Notre Dame 26, USC 7. Seconds ticking away, and if we can get it done, Jim Nance will have a nice little scoring update for you here. Still tracking that Michigan-Indiana game. Complete to Lockwood, the tailback coming out of the backfield.
There's Volkar again. He's played an outstanding game this afternoon, number 47.
Era, was he a disappointment early at Notre Dame, or was it just the fact he couldn't get any playing time?
No, he was just a freshman and slow, learning all the system and so forth, but he's really come on and done a great job this year.
Oh, he's played a great game here this afternoon.
He really has.
Well, you know, this is a big disappointment for Larry Smith, but keep in mind he is still in the chase for the Rose Bowl. They've been kind of an up-and-down team this year.
You know, it really surprises me that, as we said, that they have not played with great emotion in one of these kinds of games, but very much this does not affect their Rose Bowl chances.
You know why it doesn't surprise me? We see the Wolverines have kicked the field goal because of the way they played against Washington. Sometimes it's hard to sustain that sort of an effort at the collegiate level.
Good teams do.
Gotten way, and there's Tanner. He's inside the 25. That's an 18-yard gain, so again, Pete has them on the drive arrow.
You know, Brent, I was out of practice every day this week, and one of the things that surprised me was that Lou spent a great deal of time with the defensive secondary. He was concerned, obviously, with Pete, and he was over there, as everybody thinks of him as an offensive coach, but he was working with that defense that whole time.
Oh, Henry should have had it inside the 5-yard line. And I'll tell you, Smagala, did he get a hand on it?
Yeah, I think he tipped that. Again, I've been most impressed with the Notre Dame defensive backfield. Really did a nice job.
Yeah, Smagala got a hand on it. Let's take another look at it.
He's a youngster that wasn't counted on for much. He came through and beat everybody out this spring, and he's a gritty little guy.
Yeah, it just sort of threw it off, and Henry was unable to make a catch as a result of it. Sort of deflected it as he was coming. So they've had Streeter back there, and they've had Wells back there, and Marv Spence. They've all played fine games. Complete down to the 5-yard line. Eric Affolter.
Well, I've been impressed with Affolter. Tremendous hands. We saw him make the one nice catch by the sideline. Doesn't bobble many balls. Very soft hands.
He has caught 8 balls for 103 yards here today.
Very quietly.
Well, the Trojans trying to stick one in here with time running out. Are they going to score on the first series and their last series and nothing in between? Well, they got a chance. They run Lockwood, and they get it.
Again, give them some credit, Brent, for not giving up. I like to see that in any team.
Yeah, they did. They hung in there, they fought their way, and they had a nice drive there.
Very much characteristic of Larry Smith's teams. Always play hard. To stay the head coach at USC, Brent, you need to beat Notre Dame and UCLA.
Well, he's 0-1, but UCLA is still ahead of him.
Still ahead of him. That'll be a tough game as well. But again, I believe
they got to have some patience with him. I mean,
this is the first year of a 5-year contract at Southern Cal, and again, he will get it going. He will get these guys playing his kind of football.
Well, he's been a winner everywhere that he's coached.
They're going for 2, and on the 2-point plays, Paul Green has always played a big part over the years in their two-point plays.
Let's see, he goes to the right side. He's the tight end. They use Jacob on the other side. Complete for the 2, and instead they turn it back and go to Randy Tanner. So with 50 seconds remaining, USC scores a touchdown and saves a little pride here. They did not quit.
And you'll see the onside kick, of course.
Now the Heisman Trophy. And Tim Brown certainly stood tall in that race. He is, without a doubt, the candidate to beat. But Don McPherson making a little bit of a late rush coming into today. And here's what he did this afternoon. Had a big afternoon, and we'll see him next Saturday against Pittsburgh. There's another quarterback who gets overlooked. Steve Taylor at Nebraska. He's headed for that November showdown against Oklahoma. Those were his numbers coming into today. Injured an ankle today and out of a route. And we certainly hope that that is not a major injury. How about Jamel Holloway, still another quarterback? What he's done on the season. One of the more dangerous running quarterbacks in UCLA with Gaston Green. Boy, everybody overlooks Troy Aikman, don't they?
Oh, boy, yeah. He's leading the country in passing efficiency.
But the school, every week I get a postcard.
Gaston Green's
pick day. I never get one with Troy Aikman out.
That's next year. He's only a junior.
Boy, here comes the onside kick, and Opholter. They're going to use him to kick it off.
Oh, had a nice little chance there.
Went out of bounds. So they'll reset. We want to find out about the top 10. So let's send you back to New York and Jim Nance for an update. Jimmy?
Well, Brent, I can tell you more about Steve Taylor. He did injure that ankle, but he's all right and will be back for the Cornhuskers next week. They don't need him now, up 42-3 in the third quarter. Auburn over Mississippi State. Jeff Berger did not play, as we've mentioned all day, but his backup took up the slack. Reggie Slack's his name. He's thrown for 3 scores, and Auburn leads in the fourth quarter. Clemson's comeback fell short, down 30 points with a minute to go in the third quarter. Clemson almost came back to beat North Carolina State. First loss of the year for the Tigers. Lorenzo White not effective today, 31 carries, 67 yards. And Michigan still a field goal up on Indiana just before the half. 10-7 there. Let's go back to South Bend.
All right, Jim, thank you. You know, Florida State takes on Auburn in a couple of weeks. The Syracuse and Notre Dame keep it rolling. Both of them will continue to move up in those rankings when you think ahead. But, of course, the game that everyone's going to want to see will be Oklahoma-Nebraska. That will be in Lincoln, Nebraska. November 21st is the day. So, by all means, be ready for that one, because that figures to be the game of the year in college football. And those two teams come together, and Notre Dame against Miami won't be a bad one either, folks. We're going to take a break. We've got a timeout. 35 seconds remaining. We'll return to South Bend.
We go above and beyond just like you. Above and beyond what we have to do. Caring for what's special to you.
Only your Prudential representative goes above and beyond with a Pru review of your auto insurance.
We go above and beyond like you do. Taking care to protect what's important to you. Go up, the Prudential above and beyond.
If you could have
For Toyota quality and get city smart and country tough in one powerful package. Toyota 4Runner. With 4-wheel drive and room for 5, 4Runner commutes, carries, and conquers all roads. 4Runner, #1 in customer satisfaction for 2 years running. Now who's looking out for #1?
Toyota. Toyota. Who could ask for anything more?
All right, we are back. Notre Dame closing out on a significant victory over USC. And there are some of your thoughts as we wind down the clock here.
Well, I've been impressed with the job that this Lou Holtz and staff group have done with a very young team, with the exception of this offensive line, which has been dynamite, certainly this afternoon and all year.
Now we go 4 deep at quarterback. Steve Bellis bobbled the snap and goes back after it. And they ever run out of quarterbacks here on the sideline?
Did you think Bellis was going to think he's going to get a chance to play today, the 4th team quarterback? It's not too often to get to play in this kind of game. But speaking of that, having played in this game, this is one of the games you play in for 60 minutes, but to remember the rest of your life. Special game.
If I was a member of the Trojans, though, I might prefer to forget it if you don't mind. I'll be right back.
If you had all the experience of yesterday, with all the skill and innovation of today, you couldn't lose. USA. Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Carry the caring card.
In the 1988 Olympic Games, something special will happen. Every American athlete will bring home the gold. Gold-tipped, long-lasting Kodak batteries. The official batteries of the 1988 Olympic Games.
5 straight years for Notre Dame against USC. Who would have thunk it?
I know, not me. I wish I'd have done it. I didn't even come close.
Pat, what's the chant out in Southern California?
Bring back era.
Another running back breaks free for the Fighting Irish. That's Cornell Taylor. They've got 5 backs who have carried for 40 or more yards. Hats off to that offensive line of Lou Holtz and the Fighting Irish. And they tip the helmets to the student body now on the sideline. Been a great scene here this afternoon. And the key was the fact that the leprechaun got in shape. He was ready.
What do you think Grantland Rice would say about Tim Brown?
The one horseman rode again. And Notre Dame wins it. They go to 5-1. And downstairs to John Dockery. Doc.
Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Lou. You made it look easy today. What'd you learn about your team?
Well, I felt when they took that football the first time, went down the field in about 4 plays, I thought, golly, I've been here before. But, you know, we answered the challenge. I thought our coaches did a great job during the course of the game. But it was just a type of game that, you know, you got to do what you have to do. Our offensive line, our running backs played well the first half. We controlled the football. And, you know, the crowd got into it. We feel happy to win. Southern Cal's got a fine team, and they're a class organization.
You told us your offensive line was good, and they proved it today. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Now back to you, Brent.
All right, and congratulations to the entire Notre Dame team. There they are signaling thanks to the student body.